Thank you. Um, smell like Batusi. Oh, the bot will. Fire. Okay. Not Hello Alpha. But y'all, please help me ask us if you think being lesbian is wrong. Hi, Skylark.
Okay,
Matt?
hey,
I thought we talked about this, Matt.
I know. It's just that I had something else I was going to share, and then right,
Okay.
just to add to it, right? See,
Okay.
okay, listen. What I would emphasize is that there's a countdown. I don't know what that means, but hey, what kind of pizza is that? Is that you know uh,
Stay on task, Matt.
the combo? Okay, all right. Hey, this is what I was going to say before I lose my train of thought. See, the question it should be with okay, is being lesbian wrong? It should be a question for each individual whether it's right or wrong for them. And the rest of us, I mean, I don't know if you're questioning morality or what you're asking, but it's just that you can't apply this to all the women out there, because it's not going to be the same right for them. It's going to be right for a certain segment of the population. And I
Well,
guess that's what you're
well,
saying is.
yeah. That's not every woman's gonna be lesbian. That's fine.
But are you saying that hey, if you haven't tried it before, explore?
No, you don't
And by
have
the
to
way, how
explore or
did
try anything.
how did lesbians become lesbians? They started to get curious, or they just woke up one day and said, "This is what it is."
Well, when you have crushes as a child, you don't really decide, do you? Are you driving?
Well, I'm a passenger in a car, but is that bad?
So
I
you're
mean, I
not
can.
driving.
No, I'm a passenger.
Okay, that's fine.
But look, all I would say is that it's not that it's right or wrong for you, right? But it's not going to be right for another woman. And like,
That's fine.
but are you questioning someone's morality, or you're asking
Yes.
like why and why we think it's right or wrong based on someone's morality? Yeah, I mean, I don't know
I'm
what
not
kind of.
forcing anyone to be a lesbian. You don't have to be a lesbian. Like, you're not required to like women. I'm saying if people do like women, you should leave them the fuck alone.
Yeah, I know.
Some people like penis. That's fine.
Hey, why does this topic interest you like this? Like, why? What made you ask this question?
Because lesbians, amongst other people in the LGBTQ, are discriminated against and treated like garbage. I don't
Okay,
like when people are treated like garbage.
okay. Are they treated the worst out of that whole community? Is that what you're? That's what you
No,
said.
definitely trans people. Definitely trans people. Definitely trans people.
Oh, and then the next group would be, this group here, probably, right?
Probably. Yeah.
Hey, what kind of rights are you guys fighting for, or something? Like when you're
Oh
on
well,
the.
I'm not lesbian. I'm pansexual, but just the right to be socially equal and legislatively equal, depending on what demographic we're talking about.
Okay, but as a lesbian couple, what rights don't you have that the rest of us have? Is there any differentiation in rights?
Well, like I said, I'm not lesbian.
Okay. Yeah.
But in certain countries, in 64 countries, it's illegal to be queer. If you're
Oh
caught being queer, they will either jail you or end your life.
my God, that many! I didn't realize that many countries.
It's bad.
So you
It's like
have to.
half.
You just can't. you could be what you are, but you can't come out and like flaunt it. I guess.
Not
Right.
even flaunt. If someone suspects you of being queer, you can be put on trial.
Wow.
You don't even have to be actively acting queer. Like, if someone just thinks you're being like too feminine or too masculine, they can claim that they think you're queer, and that won't go well for you.
Okay, but like, what's the result of the trial? Like, what would happen? Like jail
Well,
time?
if they deem you queer, then jail time or execution.
Jeez, that's severe, huh? Crazy.
Yeah.
It might be in countries where there's a lot of religious influence. I guess. Do you have
And
it?
some of them.
Yeah.
But also, I have two people in the request, so while I appreciate the conversation, I
Yeah.
gotta move on.
Hey, thanks for your time. Yeah. All right.
Bye bye. Alright. Moving on to the next guest. Also, y'all, make sure we're tapping that screen and also sharing out the live. Shares are paramount. I want you to spam that share button. Please hop in the guest request if you think being lesbian is wrong.
Yo, what's going on?
Hello. How old are you?
29.
Okay. Do you think being lesbian is wrong?
Yes.
Why is that?
The understanding of the love people claim to have for each other is understood. However, when it comes to society, and not even from a religious perspective, but from a society perspective, the keeping of the standard quo population should be of importance. And let's say we allow lesbianism, right? And the expansion of it to
Lesbianism is not a
go.
thing, but continue.
Oh, my bad. I don't know why it's a word. I don't know. I just, but all right. Being lesbian would be then, if we allow it to go across all cultures, right? The impact that it will have on the population of the world, because we all know that the nations come from the woman's womb. If that was to cease, then what will we have?
You know, we have like IVF, surrogacy, artificial insemination. We would be fine if that did hypothetically happen. Not that it would,
Well,
though, because being lesbian isn't a choice. So if you're worried about all of the world becoming lesbian, you have to be equally worried about all of the world becoming infertile. And something tells me you don't think being infertile is immoral.
context of being a lesbian, why is it necessary for the sperm then?
Why is what necessary for the sperm?
Yes.
No, you cut out. I didn't quite understand what you said.
Oh, so basically, what I'm trying to see here is that the couple in itself of woman and woman cannot produce a child without that of a man. So that shows that there's a disconnect of whether you say love, okay, but still biology says it needs to be man and woman to make a child.
Okay. Do you think being infertile is
A
wrong?
lesbian, excuse me?
Do you think being infertile is wrong?
I believe being infertile is something you can't control, similar to how you claim that being a lesbian is something you can't control. But I
But
would
do you think
argue
it's
that,
morally
that
wrong?
being infertile is morally wrong.
That's what I'm asking. That's what I mean by
Oh,
wrong
okay.
here.
No, I didn't. Yeah, I
Morally.
didn't. Okay, now I understand your question. Um, being infertile is not. It doesn't have anything to do with morality.
Neither does being lesbian.
So, do you have a desire to, not you, right? But do lesbians have a desire to be with other women? Or do they, which one's stronger, the desire to be with women or the desire to be infertile?
Being a lesbian is not something you desire.
Why?
You can
Why
just
is that?
you desire women, but being lesbian again is not a choice. In the same way that being straight isn't a choice.
So sexual preference, right? Now we have
Hmm.
tons of people, right, on statistically speaking, that has chose between, oh, okay, I like women, okay, you know what? Change my mind, I'm straight, right? I have family members that have had kids that was straight and then turn around and now they're lesbian. So that goes to show me that there is a choice in essence in that, and
The
that when
choice
it
is
comes
to have sex and date. The attraction is not the choice.
so you can act upon your desires. You can't act
Um,
upon being infertile.
you can have sex and be infertile. No
Yes,
kid's gonna come out of
yes,
that. And lesbians
exactly.
can have sex and no kid will come out of that either. But why is it wrong when the lesbians do it?
So when you bring up the fact of they got IVF, wouldn't the person that's infertile would love the opportunity to do IVF, right? But in a lesbian couple dynamic, why is the thought of kids brought about when you have to go to the opposite sex to go accomplish that? That shows me that there is a disconnect when it comes to the procreation.
What do you mean by disconnect?
So, if to have a child, you need a male and a female, two
Uh
females can make that, right? You have a
uh
desire for a female. However, you need a male in order to have said child.
okay.
So that's what I'm saying. That's the disconnect
Okay,
because
but why is that
you're
relevant to it
willingly
being immoral?
okay. So when it comes to being wrong, like I said, my first standpoint was that there would be lack of population amongst the cultures if it was widely accepted, right? But once again, you can also argue that, well, let's take it down to the numbers. It's only 7%, here in the US. You know what I mean? So we could go to that route with it, right? But just for the sake of the prompt, that's what my position is on that.
Okay, but that's an irrational position because
Why
people
so?
don't just turn lesbian. Like that is a genetic predisposition.
How does that happen?
So, how does what happen?
Being lesbian?
Becoming lesbian?
Yes. You
It's
said
it's
people,
similar to
yeah,
it's similar to your height, for example. Like if you're 6'2", you don't come out of the womb
that's
six foot
crazy.
two. That would, obliterate your mother, right?
Right.
But genetically, you are predisposed to become 6'2". Now, environmental factors can affect whether or not you actually end up the height that you were genetically predisposed to be, like your calcium intake, how much
Okay. I
pollution
was
you're
going to ask you
around,
how. I'm glad you
abuse,
breaking
yada
that
yada
down.
yada.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, in a similar vein, being lesbian is
Right.
is a combination of genetic and environmental factors. Like
How
it's
so
definitely a
genetic?
genetic component.
How so
Okay, so
genetic?
it's not just one gene, it's a combination of genes. I don't know the names of all the genes off the top of my head because there are so many. I can find the list if you'd like. But essentially there
Right.
are certain parts. Huh?
That
I'm
right.
sorry, you're cutting out real bad. Like real bad.
I was saying right that I'm listening.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. It's just I don't know, the connection was
All right.
was
There we go. There we
terrifying.
go. Yeah, I'm out here in the
There we
sticks,
go.
man. I'm in the desert right now. So
You're still in the desert?
yeah, I work hard, man.
Why are you still in the You know what? I hope you're
You
enjoying your time in the desert.
grinding your 20s so that you can invest in your 30s and you can live out the rest of your life happily and thriving. 35 is my retirement age. I don't know about the rest of the world.
I suppose going out to live in the desert is a happy experience for some people. Can't relate, but I'm glad you're
I'm in
enjoying yourself.
oil field, so
Oh,
yeah,
that's why.
it's a drive.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep.
That that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's that combination of genes plus several environmental factors that could play a part. Upbringing, the kinds of people you were around, as in like who's
Right.
accepting and
I
who's
agree.
not, a lot of different things. But considering there is a genetic component, you can't just say it's a decision because it's
What?
not.
So hold on. Explain to me the genetic component again. I think I missed that one.
Okay. So there's a combination of genes that contributes to your sexuality. There's not just like, as people like to call it, the GAY gene. That's not true. There are several genes that contribute to it.
Right.
Essentially, that gene is one of the several that contributes to like your psychology, because your genes decide like what you look like, what your personality is like. It's one of those genes.
Right.
And
Is this a case
the way
study?
that we're, huh?
Is this a case study?
Well, no, it's not a case study implies it's just like one scenario, but there are studies to back that up.
Okay, scholarly.
Yeah.
Can you give me a couple of them so I can research?
Hold on. I gotta move my pizza plate out of the way.
Right.
How are y'all doing on this fine evening? I'm socially exhausted. I also might change the topic because TikTok is alright. Yeah, please fall on the floor. Thanks. Thank you so much. From the
Yeah.
National
Either way,
Library of
Dad.
Medicine.
I'm all about trying to learn, man. If I can teach, I
From
can teach. If I
the
can learn, I can learn.
Fair enough. From the National Library of Medicine, you can look up. There's no one GAY gene, but genetics are linked to same-sex behavior. New study says. That one's by Lindsay Beaver or Bever.
Hold on, Lindsay Beaver.
I think Bever, Bever.
Bever, Beaver. Yeah, one of the two.
Yeah. It's titled "There's no one GAY gene, but genetics are linked to same-sex behavior." New study says.
What is your credibility before we continue into that? If you know by chance, if not, then that's fine too.
Well, what do you mean by that? It's from the NIH.
So
That's what you mean.
you said it's from where?
The National Library of Medicine.
All right, so certain scholars, right, have certain reputations in their community, right? So scholars in a bunch of is in one community. Are there other scholars that support her in her work, her previous work, her current work, things that she has brought forth? You know what I'm saying? Scholars
Oh, you're just
tend,
saying you want other sources?
or just credibility as far as scholars supporting this study or finding of hers.
Oh, I don't
It's
look
best.
into
It's best
her.
because yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, not the teacupping.
For me anyway, when I take in knowledge or a case study or anything like that, I like to know that they have the support from their scholars who also over their findings. Now, that
You're cutting out in a
greatly
way
to
that is so diabolical. It's actually painful. I'm gonna be fully honest with you.
that's crazy.
It I'm in pain.
It won't let me be. It won't let me be great today. I think
It really won't.
I might have to drop today because my signal not too good.
That might be the case. I'm not gonna hold you.
Okay. Nah, yeah. I don't want to. I don't want to none.
I don't know what you're saying right now, bestie. It's giving robot.
I will tell now.
I'm be fully honest.
I don't know if you can hear me.
Kind of. I just heard the word down. You know what? Crazy work. Bye bye. My sincerest apologies. It's giving broken NPC is crazy.
Hello? Hello?
Hi. How old are you?
I'm 19.
What year were you born?
2005.
What month?
April. I'm a Taurus.
Okay. Do you think being lesbian is wrong?
I came here because I have something to add to the topic. The people that are on here that are trying to debate that they feel that this is wrong aren't saying what they're supposed to be saying. Like, hear me out. What they need to say is that they feel that God will sprinkle a child from his beard dandruff into the woman if the two people are infertile. I'm not saying that they're right or wrong, but I am saying that that's what they keep trying to say, and they're not saying it for whatever reason. I don't know why, but it's really irritating. I get that it sounds weird for them to say and come out and say, but like, why not say it if you believe that? But like, I would really love and appreciate it if you would just tell them, like, look, if you feel that two people can be infertile and somehow have a kid miraculously, then just say that you want God to sprinkle a child from his beard dandruff into the woman.
I fear you may have ate.
Because I keep seeing these lives and I'm like, why are y'all not saying that? Why are y'all not saying that? Like, you're dancing around saying it, but you're not saying it. And I know that because I was raised by a mom who's just like that. Just like that, which is why I'm saying it like that now.
That's so true. That's so very true. Thank you for dropping that lovely nugget of information upon us all.
Thank you. This has been coming from years of my mom saying that we'll have I don't want to say it like this, but a regular life when God heals my brothers of autism. And that apparently
Oh no.
that one day I'll just meet a guy, but whenever I bring a guy home, she ends up not liking them. And I guess in my imagination that he's just supposed to drop one off at the doorstep because I don't just go out and meet people. Like, I go to work, I go home, I go to school, I go home. Like, that's it.
That's diabolical work.
And like, to not like get off topic, but I'm going to make this the last thing to say, and then I'm going to get off because I know I'm getting off topic and I'm very sorry. I respect your time and I respect your prompt.
Okay.
But, oh gosh, what was I going to say? Like, I know that prayer can do a lot of things. You know, you manifest, you pray, you do a lot of things. And for those who are atheists, whatever you believe, it is what it is. I really don't care. However, I don't really want to pray about that because there are times when she asks, are you even praying? And I'm like, if I did, would you still ask me this question? So, you know, it like, that's where I'm coming from. It's like, I know what they're saying and I know what they're dancing around. So why don't you just come out and say it like that? Just say that he's going to sprinkle a miracle from his beard dandruff.
I love that it's specifically the dandruff. Thank you for coming.
I know. That's why I was like, and I was on here last time, but I was like, because I wanted to test to see if I could go live. And when you did it, I was like, oh my gosh, it worked. But, you know, I was on the wrong prompt, obviously, so I got off immediately. But I'm going to get off. Thank you for your time. I love watching your videos.
Thank you.
How do I leave from here? Oh gosh. Thank you.
I got you. All right. Moving on to the next guest. Y'all, please hop in Guest Quest if you think being lesbian is wrong. And only if you think being lesbian is wrong. Also, make sure we're tapping the screen. I am going to make a live goal so we can try and get the live sent out so we can find some more debates. If you guys meet this live goal, the live will be sent out. No pressure. Did they not join? Or are they in the middle of joining? I can't tell. Because the pin is covering it up. Oh. It looks like they're still joining. Oh, well. Goodbye now. Maybe I should change the background. Let's do this and this. Still doing that fucking loading bullshit. Effects. And then this, and then y'all, should I do the trans topic or the body count topic? We love the stairs. Should I do the trans topic or the body count topic, y'all? What are we thinking? I know both are good. I just have to decide. Hi, Dylan. Things are going well. I'm just very tired. Poll? Let's do the poll. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Poll. Quick poll. Okay, smile for trans topic, cry for body count. Smile for trans topic, cry for body count. You could kiss 100 boys in bars.
Yo,
Hi, how old are you?
22.
Okay, do you think being lesbian is wrong?
I'm dumpster. But yeah, let me go on a quiet spot. 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, that's me. You said it. I think it's wrong. It's shit hot. It's cute, but I can't be a hypocrite. It is wrong. You know?
That's gross, but okay. Why is it wrong?
But how you tell me women getting off of friction? Wall hitting wall. Like, I don't understand.
They don't do that. That's not how that works.
What do you mean?
Do you know how lesbian sex works, or do you just be watching that shit that on the stuff that's produced solely for the enjoyment of men, and you think that's how that works?
How else am I gonna watch it?
You could, I don't know, maybe look at what lesbians are producing and not what men are producing for other men to watch.
What, lesbians? I don't even know what you mean by that. What do you mean by that?
As in, like, the corn?
Okay, but at the end of the day, it's the women who are doing it. So
Yeah, because they're getting paid to. Most women do not do that.
okay, what's the difference between a man producing and a woman producing the video, creating, right? That's what you mean?
Yeah, one is for the male gaze, the other one isn't.
What is the other one for?
The other one is for everyone. But if a lesbian is the one who gets to control the narrative of how they're presented, then it's probably going to be more accurate than whatever a straight man thinks lesbians do, clearly,
So
as
how do you
evidenced
know-
by what you just said.
How do you even know there's a
Huh?
difference? How do you even know there's a difference?
Because I've watched corn produced by lesbians and I've watched corn produced by men, and there's a difference.
You're happily saying this in front of 300 people.
I'm an adult that watches corn. Crazy work.
Okay, wait. I thought everyone's talking about body count. Like when you ran the poll, I thought it was body count. Or am I tripping?
I think body count did win. I'm about
So
to change the background.
we talk about body count.
Sure.
I feel like body count matters. The past shapes you to the
Should.
person. Today. It does
Should.
matter.
Should.
It does.
That's not what the question is.
Should it matter? What was it? You went. You
Why
paused.
should body count matter for women but not for men? Not does. Should.
So you're implying that it doesn't, but should is
No,
saying
I'm implying that it
should, but it
shouldn't. Yeah, I'm saying it does, but it shouldn't.
Why shouldn't?
I asked you the question first, Bessie.
So you do believe body count matters?
Presently, yes, unfortunately.
I know. Oh, so what's the? So you do agree body count matters? What the hell? I thought you wouldn't.
Sir, do you know how
Why
to read?
Why should body count matter more for women but not for men? I feel like the dynamic of intercourse is very different. One's getting penetrated, one's being ran through, the other person is running through, and I feel like the power dynamic is very different.
Just because you don't know what it's like to be a sub doesn't mean that other men don't. So that's definitely a claim. Can't relate.
Regardless of what it is, you're getting penetrated. Either if the person's riding it or he's doing the work, you're still getting
That's not what I
penetrated.
said. That's not at all what I said. Okay, so if a man strictly gets pegged, should his body count matter more than that of a woman?
I wouldn't even consider him a man. That's not a man.
Okay, good for you.
That's
Still a man though?
Not a man. If you get pegged, you're not a man.
Okay, so your opinion upon what a man does with his asshole does not make him less of a man.
Oh, by the way, I would recommend instead of $10, put it like $40 or $30. I would recommend just
No.
for. I would recommend that. But what did you
No.
say? But yeah, I don't think that's a man. I think it goes against what a man is.
Okay,
And
I respectfully did not ask.
so what's the other question then?
The initial question, like you just said,
Yeah, I
man
told you.
have penis, woman have vagina. That's not a justification. Like, can you explain why that matters?
Because I already told you, you're getting penetrated, you're getting ran through. He's conquering your
I'm
body.
asking why does that? Oh, that's disgusting. Wow. Okay. So
How's that
you think it
disgusting?
matters because you view women as like objects to be conquered? That sounds like a you problem, buddy.
No, I think you're just arguing with me. Like you're not going against my claim. You're just saying it's my problem. Can you just like tell me why I'm wrong?
Would you like me to tell you why that's disgusting? Because I can. Sure. You know what? Let's explain to this person why saying that women are being conquered during sex is disgusting. One, sex requires both people to consent. If one person has a power dynamic over the other person that is not consented to, that's not consent. That's great. Let's start with that. Number two, to say that one party is submissive to the other without either of those parties agreeing upon that is very, very weird. Especially considering a woman is not thinking that she's going into sex to be conquered. Now, if a man is thinking about a woman that way, that's objectifying as fuck. You don't conquer people. And when you do conquer people, that's usually incredibly harmful and gross, and leads to death and incredible psychological damage. So if you want to psychologically damage your partner, I mean, that's fine. That's just, once again, your problem. That's not, yeah, if you consent to being degraded, it's not actually psychologically damaging because you consent to it. And then after you get degraded, there's supposed to be aftercare, which you would know if you were a good dom and knew how BDSM and consent works.
I'm talking about consent, obviously. That's what I'm talking
I mean,
about.
it's not obvious. Do you want me to pull up the definition of conquer for you? Because you don't consent to being conquered.
Listen, you can consent to it.
You can't.
If a woman was like, okay, I want you to take control of my body. I want you to do that. Take control, make it yours. It's consent right
You're
there.
not actually controlling their body. You are pretending to. You're not dead ass conquering them. But the way that you're describing it, it sounds like because one person has a hole and the other person has something that goes into the hole, that person has inherently more power. But if one party has more power than the other, that's not consent.
Like just how it naturally is.
No. Just saying that's how it naturally is not.
So in all scenarios, if someone has more power than the other person, that's not consent.
Correct.
Okay, example, because you said in all scenarios, a boxing match, if someone's more stronger than that, and they decide to go in a boxing match, and he gets his ass beat, therefore it's not consent anymore.
Oh, I thought you meant like
I said
in sex.
in all scenarios.
Are you not talking about in sex, or are you talking about like all scenarios in life?
All scenarios.
In life?
Yeah, all scenarios in life.
Well, no, since boxing specifically is hinging upon your own training, whether or not someone has more power physically is the point in boxing. In sex, power is not something that's baked into it. You don't sign a contract consenting to harm during sex. You do sign a contract consenting to harm in boxing.
Men are biologically stronger than women anyway, so I don't understand.
So?
Either men or the woman is going to be more stronger during intercourse.
Did I say a single thing about physicality once? I don't remember saying that.
That's what's going to happen, though. It's going to be implemented in sex. Someone is going to have more power or overpower the other person. Someone's going to take...
No, that's not how that works. One person having more physical power than the other, like the possibility to use that power, in order for it to be consent, it needs to be agreed upon that you will not use that power unless the other party wants you to. If you overpower someone during sex, that is rape.
I'm talking about consent. I already told you that 3 times. Stop trying to turn and twist it.
Okay, so then in that case... I'm not twisting anything. That's not what conquer means. That would not actually be conquering. That's the point. If you are consenting to being conquered, that's not actual conquering. Again, if you'd like me to pull up the definition of conquer for you, I can do it.
The thing with sex, no one's just gonna both fucking lay there. Someone is gonna do action. Someone's gonna do something. You know,
yes, with consent. That's not what conquer means. Do you think countries consent to being conquered?
Like, what's wrong with you? Why are you trying to twist into my words?
Do you think countries consent to being conquered? Yes or no?
Yeah, okay. Getting taken over?
I'm sorry?
I would say if...
Yes.
That depends, but I would say no. There's a scenario.
Okay. So then you don't consent to being conquered. How would a country consent to being conquered?
There is a scenario.
Can I have the scenario?
If someone is willing to go to war, it's a possibility of getting conquered. Therefore, if they're willing to take that risk, they're also taking the possibility of getting conquered. So,
when you get in your car, are you consenting to getting in a car crash?
You're agreeing to the possibility of it, correct? Yes.
But are you consenting to the crash?
You're allowing it. You're allowing for the possibility to happen, yes.
Okay, so when you walk outside your door, are you consenting to being schmurdered?
It's not that you're allowing it, it's you're allowing the possibility of it happening.
Are you consenting to the schmurder? I didn't say anything about possibility. Are you consenting to the schmurder, yes or no?
Technically, yes.
Okay, so then by law, we should just completely get rid of all laws outlining schmurder.
No.
Because you're consenting to the schmurder.
No.
But I thought you were consenting to it, though.
You know there's a risk for going outside, so you consent for the possibility.
That's not what I asked you. That's not what I asked you.
Okay, but that's what I'm telling you.
That's not what I asked you, though.
Say, do I go outside and say, hey, it's okay for this person? No, then no, obviously not.
Okay, great. So then in that case, a country is not consenting to being conquered, and neither is a person, because one more time, I can pull up the definition of conquer for you. That's not consensual.
Pull it up. Pull it up?
Lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Fabulous.
I like when women listen.
I'm not a woman, and you're disgusting. Don't talk to me
You
like that.
are a woman. What the fuck?
I'm not. You know what? Whoever kicked him, good. That was fucking disgusting. Ew. And you know what? From the conquering rhetoric alone, you can already tell that person does not give a fuck about consent. Clearly. Ew. I'm tired of being harassed on this app. I'm really tired. Don't apologize, Glohan. I'm glad. I think we have only friendlies in the guest request. Hop in the guest request if you think body count should matter more for women but not for men. And also if you're not gonna sexually harass me. So. Hello? I hate men who sexually harass me, Stanley. And do. And will continue to do so. And I don't feel bad about it. To the person who asked, this person kept claiming that during sex, men conquer women, which is disgusting. So I was explaining to him how one cannot conquer. Yeah, I'm mad at you because you're fucking weird. Do not sexually harass me. But the people who were wondering, after that, I kept asking him if he wanted me to look up the definition of conquer, and he kept saying no, over and over and over again. Or actually, no, he was just ignoring it. So then I was like, okay, do you want me to look it up for you? And he said, look it up. As I'm going to look it up, he says, I like when women listen to me. Ew. Disgusting. Get the fuck out of my guest request before I block you. Hello?
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. Well, I've been better. How old are you?
I'm 44 years old.
Okay. Do you think body count should matter for women but not for men?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because women, for one, can have babies. There's
Okay.
like you don't want to have a bunch of babies with a bunch of different men.
One second. Okay, so being lesbian is bad because women can have babies?
Oh, being lesbian?
I mean, I'm sorry. Thinking about a completely different topic. Apologies. Okay, so women shouldn't have a high body count because they can have babies?
Yeah, because they can have babies, men can't. So,
Okay.
there's more of a risk for when a woman has sex than when a man has sex.
Abortions are great.
Abortions are evil. You're killing somebody.
You're not, but okay. So anyway, if a woman doesn't want the child, she can have an abortion.
Are you from?
It's really that simple.
Are you from Africa?
No.
Okay. But so what is your roots?
America?
No, where were your ancestors born? Like, are you
Probably somewhere in.
from Africa?
No, my ancestors were probably born here as slaves.
Oh, okay.
How far back are we talking?
Well, okay. Well, then you probably one of the you count as an American. You probably have a higher IQ because
Before, guys, I know what he's saying right now. Do not drop him. Also, please tell me you're recording this. I'm gonna get content out of this. My patience is being tested today. I am going to get content out of this.
so you are an American. So you are going to have a higher IQ, or nearing around 100,
I did not ask.
probably, right? So
I did not ask.
as an American, but I'm trying to say something here. In Africa, the average
You've said a lot.
in Africa, the average IQ is actually 70. And also
Do you
in
have a
America,
source for that?
yeah, you can look at Google it. In
Best
America,
source I ever heard in my life. Do you have like a study or?
oh, there's
But also, why is this relevant?
this is well-known knowledge. Well,
That doesn't make it true. But pop
the,
off, I guess.
the reason why they have lower IQs, I guess, is because the area they live in, they don't have access to the same schooling as you would in America, right?
Okay.
So the thing is, in America, the actual cutoff,
Not everywhere in Africa is, completely remote with no education, right?
but the average IQ is still 70. And
You're
in
saying this to
America,
say what? Can you just make your
Okay,
fuck
my
ass
point-
point already?
my point is, in America, the IQ of 70 actually classifies you to be mentally disabled,
Don't say the R slur. I swear to fucking God. Thank you.
right? So in America, 70 IQ is mentally disabled. So technically,
Can you please tell me why this is relevant to the argument?
well, technically, people in Africa are mentally disabled on average. And you can look the sources up for the
Okay,
IQ of people in
Q.
America.
Can you tell me? Can you tell me what the point of this is, or?
Well, the point is, it's harder for Black people to understand certain things because they have a lower IQ. So it's not their fault.
Okay, so is the crux of your argument that I'm dumb? I think I was supposed to get angry or something. Please tell me someone clipped that. Please. I feel like today was an interesting day to pick to piss me off.
Yo,
Are you racist?
am I racist?
Yeah. I just want to know before
Well,
we get
for
into
one, I'm
this.
black. So what am I gonna
You
clown
can
you
still
for your
exhibit
race for?
racism.
Huh?
You can still exhibit racism as a black person.
Yeah, exactly. And I've seen arguments like on TikTok saying that black people cannot be racist, which is incredibly ignorant. So yeah.
Okay, that didn't really answer my question. I'm just gonna hope that you're not anti-black. Just make your argument, dear God.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Okay.
But I do want to say that women are more prone to sexually uh, transmitted infections than men. So yeah, body count matters more for
Oh,
like
I'm sorry, before we continue, it says the average IQ of people in Africa is around 82, which puts them 12 points above what is considered intellectually disabled. So he pulled the whole thing out of his ass. And also, racism is disgusting, and I hope all racists, if hell does exist, are forced to be chained above a campfire in which their back is perpetually boiled to a bloody crisp. Please continue.
yeah, it's like if a girl comes up to me and I want to ask her what is your body count, and it's something like above like 5, I'm gonna, or like maybe just pushing 10, I'm gonna be concerned. But I feel like for a girl, if a man like tells her that his body count is like, it could be multiple, and it's like, that really isn't like too concerning because like men, we don't really like carry diseases as much as women do, you know, because it's very easy for us to clean
What?
ourselves, but
What?
it's kind of pretty hard for women to like clean themselves as well.
What?
Even though both still get like diseases, it just matters more for men, to be honest.
Wait, so are you even an op?
It's like
Y'all, I'm losing it. I'm losing it. I'm losing
like a
it.
woman. It's
I'm
like
losing it. I'm losing it.
why would she want to be
I'm losing it.
like with a man that has like multiple bodies? Because he could possibly been with a woman that has like a disease. But when
I'm
it
losing
comes
my
to
mind.
like when it comes to like a girl having a lot of bodies, it's like who are you letting inside of you? Like, are you even like are you being reckless? And on both sides, it's like that should be asked for both sides. But it's just women are yeah, it matters more for men, definitely.
Okay, what side are you on right now?
Hmm.
Did you read the question?
It well, I think people, you may be lost, but I'm really saying it kind of matters more for men.
Right, but did you read the question though?
It should matter more for men.
I mean, I still disagree with that, but okay. That's
Yeah, like I
not
don't.
what this is about, but halfway W? Like W turned on its side?
I don't know. I
E?
guess that's an or an M. I don't know.
Well, no, the M would be upside down. I'm just saying it's like this. It's not like this. It's like this.
So that's like a I guess so.
So it's like an E.
E for I don't know.
Oh my god. Thank you for the heart, the heart me. I'm losing my fucking mind. I'm losing it. Hello.
Hey, how are you doing today?
I'm alive. How old are
I'm,
you?
I'm 36.
Okay. Oh wait, it's you. Okay. Do you
Hey, I
think
got
body
you
count should matter
$10 the
more for
other
women
day.
but not for men? Oh, okay. Do you
I
think
got
body count should matter for women but not? Shh. Do you
it
think
should
body
be
count
for
should matter for women but not?
it
Do
should
you
count for
think body
both.
count should matter equally?
Yeah, because if you're a dude,
Okay. W per. Bye bye. Y'all. Y'all. I am in pain. I'm in pain. Y'all. No, Carl, it's okay. It's not usually this bad. It's not usually this bad. It's not usually this bad. You know, alcohol doesn't run in my family, it drives. That's really fucking hilarious, actually. Shit, I might change the topic again. I need more ops. Hold on. We're changing it to the trans topic. Oh, actually, you know what, guys? I hit an hour on the live stream in 1 minute. Should I hit the restart with the trans topic? I think I might hit the restart. I feel like the algorithm is very cursed right now. I think the algorithm is very cursed. Yeah? Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. Y'all, I will be right back and I will hit the restart with the trans topic. I am in pain. Alright. I will come right back. I will come right back. I'll be right back. As you should be, Ari. Your support is much appreciated. Hello, Rose. Hi, Lucas. Y'all make sure we're spamming the hearts and the shares. Hi, Merker. Thank you, Ari. Hello, Jayla. Please hop in the guest request if you think trans men are not men. Hello, Pirate. Hi, Sophie. I'm probably gonna go to Tashika's house when we go to Texas. So it'll be the night before we leave for Texas. Hello, Keenan. Hi, Faith. Oh, okay. Hello then, Knox. Hi, Jocelyn. Hi, Caro.
Yeah.
Hi. You have a lot of background noise. Oh, they're gone. Okay. Thank you for the heart me. I would say I do love green eggs and ham, but I both dislike eggs and ham, so I don't want to be a liar. I did just start. Oh, guys, the racist is back in my requests. I know it's based off a book. I think I know the book. I read it as a child. Yes, Randy, the racist. Let him up, raccoon.
Hello.
Hello? Hi, how old are you?
I'm 22.
Okay. Do you think trans men are men?
No.
Why is that?
How are they? Why are they?
That did not answer my question.
Well, you are the one making a claim. I'm not.
Okay. So, instead of just answering my question.
Okay, sure, I can tell you why they're not. Because they're not biological males.
Okay. So, in order
Tell
to
me
be
how
a
they
man,
are.
you have to be biologically male. That's
Yeah.
I'm not claiming that trans men are biologically male.
Yes, typically, yes.
I'm sorry?
Yes, you have to be a biological male to be a male.
You have to be a biological male to be a male? Yeah.
To be a man.
No shit. Oh.
To be a man, yes.
Okay, what denotes being male?
What denotes being male?
Yeah.
If you mean in the actual biological sex terms, your sexual characteristic.
That is how I use the word male. Yes.
Okay, just making sure, because some people create this weird. I'm sure you want to separate man and male in this conversation, right? Man is the gender, male is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was asking. Yes. Sexual organs.
Okay. So, if someone doesn't have a penis, they're not a man.
Not always.
Okay, so
Intersex people do exist, but for my definition of male, I'm talking about the average human, not something going wrong when they were born, because they're not supposed to be that way. I'm talking about a typical, you could say, normal human.
supposed?
Yes, humans typically aren't supposed to do that, to be a normal, healthy member of the species.
That's definitely an opinion.
Well, humans have 2 legs. Is that to say that there can't be a human born with one? No. But I'm just saying, when it comes to typically, it's the sexual organs. Or if you want to say, we can
Okay,
just go by primary sexual characteristics, if you want to do
no,
that.
I'm just saying that wording was really questionable.
I'm sorry.
But
Did you misunderstand what I was saying?
No, I fully understood what you said. It just
Okay.
it was in a really questionable package. Okay. So we're basing this off of the typical male, you said.
No, I'm basing it off of primary sexual characteristics.
The primary sexual characteristics of a typical
Of a typical male, yes. But that isn't to say exceptions do not exist. There's obviously exceptions, is my point.
Okay, so if exceptions exist, why is this your definition?
Because exceptions exist to every medical rule. Like I said, people are born with 2 legs. Humans have 2 legs, but that doesn't mean it's 100% the case. But I'm not going to go around here saying legs exist on a spectrum.
Okay. Well, one, you'd have to admit sex exists on a spectrum if you know that intersex people exist. So
Yeah, but there's such
you
a
could just
small
say the human
portion of the
body
population.
exists.
Do you want me to say
They're
that my
still real.
okay? Do you want me to say that my definition? I can think of one that includes intersex people, probably, but I just don't see a point in wasting time doing that. It's not like my whole argument is moot if I don't include intersex people in my Oxford English definition of male.
Well, I'm not saying that you have to include like a specific demographic inside of your definition. I'm saying with your definition being exclusionary, it completely ignores some people who are also men and just don't fit your criteria. And you
I
just
acknowledge that
ignore
can
them.
happen, and I said that in those cases we would go off of primary.
Oh. Is this person okay? You alright, bestie?
I'm so sorry. I got a phone call.
Oh, no worries.
Are you there? I'm so sorry. I got a phone call.
Yeah. That's fine.
What did I miss? What were you saying? What?
No, I was just making sure that you didn't like perish or something.
No, I have not perished just yet. I'm okay.
Just yet is crazy word. Okay. So then
Everybody
what are
dies one
these
day.
sex characteristics that you're referring to?
I mean, even intersex people do have, typically, they do, from my understanding, they have primary characteristics of one sex or the other. It's usually just the genitalia that is different, correct? Typically?
No.
Well, then I'd be fine with just putting intersex people in their own category. How about that? Have fun.
So intersex people just can't be men? What? That's not...
Sure, that's fine with me.
Okay, so any intersex person who is claiming to be a man is Delulu.
Do they have a, how would I say it in TikTok terms, a stick, if you will?
You can say... You can
Can I say that?
penis,
I
that's
genuinely don't know what I can say.
fine. You very well can. Any
Okay, yeah. Do
scientific
they
or
have a
medical
penis?
term you can say.
Okay, sure. Do they have
No.
a penis? Then no, they're not men.
Okay. So every single person on the planet that does not have a penis, even if they have all of the other sex characteristics, no man.
I would simply call them intersex if they have a vagina, but everything else about them is male. Is that not fine?
being
Is there something
dead
wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
Well, yeah, because we're barring people from gender now. Unless you think that's okay. I would argue that's not okay morally because that could cause psychological damage.
What makes someone a man to you? That's why I asked in the first place, and you didn't want to answer that. What makes someone a man?
It's not that I didn't want to answer. It's just that I asked you a question first, and then you answered my question with a question.
Right,
But
because
the
that
one thing
kind
that
of
makes a man to me is that they understand themselves to be a part of the gender category associated with males. They themselves don't have to be male, though.
just because they say they're men. That's what you're saying.
Because they understand themselves to be men. You don't just say out loud, I am a man, that makes you a man. If you conceptualize yourself as a man and you actually believe that, then yes, you
Okay,
are.
but I can't read minds. So at the end of
You
the
don't
day,
have to.
what
Why are
they
you trying to
call me-
decide who is and is not a man?
I'm not. It's what they tell me, though. That's what I have to go off of.
Okay, then yeah, that's what you have to go off of.
Indeed.
Amongst
Why
other
would
things.
I even recognize that at all? What's the point? It's fake. If nothing physical makes you a man other than something in your brain and your soul, it's fake. I'm not going to recognize any of it at all. I'm not a man. You're not a woman. No one's nothing. Who cares? It's all just in your soul. It's
I
fake.
mean, yeah, I agree. I think gender should be abolished, but that's another topic for
Then why are
another
we
day.
even having this argument? Why don't we have that discussion? Like, what is the point of saying that I have to recognize a trans man as a man when we both know men don't exist by what you're saying, and who cares?
Well, no, men do exist because gender as a construct exists. Unfortunately, I don't
In
have
American
gender
society,
abolition
it's not even the
arguments.
same in every culture. So who cares?
That's literally the. You're agreeing with me right now, deadass.
I do agree on that part, but I'm not going to recognize something
so-
we both agree is made up. I don't care to recognize it. I'm not going to
Okay.
waste my time trying to figure out what made up bullshit
Okay.
the person identifies as.
So if a woman
I'm about to get kicked, aren't I?
says that she's a woman, no, No,
what was that timer?
my mods don't like you.
Okay, there's a timer on my thing. Okay, continue then.
If we can both acknowledge that gender is just made up bullshit, then why should it matter?
Right.
Exactly. So
It
why
doesn't.
are you
Why does it
calling
matter
people's
if I?
gender invalid?
I'm not calling it invalid. I'm just saying I can't recognize when someone claims they're trans. So why would I? Who even cares though? It's not a micro transgression. We all know it's fake. It's made up. I'm not being
Well,
mean.
it's not a microaggression, it's actually quite macro. The problem with it is the psychological ramifications of it.
Of not acknowledging fake shit that you just said is fake bullshit.
Of not acknowledging someone's gender as the way that they perceive it to be. Yes. Despite
It's
the
like
fact
saying
that
there's
gender is socially
psychological
constructed.
ramifications. Sorry for interrupting you. It's like saying there's psychological ramifications for not acknowledging someone's religion. While true that may be, it's still bullshit. I don't have to acknowledge it.
Well, yeah, no one's forcing you to acknowledge it, but when it comes to acknowledging someone's religion, usually in your own religion, it's stated that if you acknowledge other religions, then you're a sinner. You're going to hell. Me personally, I also think religion is bullshit. I'm an atheist, so. But
Right, but
when it
the
comes
same
to
argument can be made about both of those things. To
well,
say religion's bullshit can psychologically harm crazy Christians, but it is bullshit, so who cares?
Well, yeah, if a Christian is like actively being a bigot, I don't think you should be obligated to respect their feelings. But if a Christian or any other religious person is just practicing their own religion and minding their business, why should we treat them like shit or tell them to their face that we deny their religion? Like if you're Christian and you are faced with someone who's Muslim, you don't tell that person to turn, do you? Because if you do, that's pretty fucking weird.
Well, when it's brought up, you don't have to acknowledge that their religion is true or correct. You would actually say, "Yeah, no, I think that's fake." So I'm not going to talk about it. I think it's made up. I'm not going to
Okay,
acknowledge
so
it.
in a
That's what you would
conversation
do.
where you're discussing whether or not someone's religion is true is one thing. So in this conversation, that makes sense. But if a trans person is just existing, the fuck are you telling them you don't acknowledge their gender for?
I mean, I'm not going to just walk up to anybody who I may suspect is trans and just say, "Hey, I think you're faking it, my man." I'm just saying, like, nobody should get mad at me if I don't actively respect somebody's pronouns. Who cares? It's not
Okay, so
objectively morally wrong.
if you call nothing's objectively morally wrong, that's the whole point.
Then who cares? What is the point of getting mad at people for not doing it?
It's psychologically damaging. That
Who
is why.
cares? It's not bad.
Well, that's what my morals are based off of. What are your morals based off of?
What are my morals based off of?
Yeah. Like, where do you get your morals from? Because mine is based off of what does and does not cause unnecessary harm. Misgendering a trans person when all it takes to gender a person properly is to just call them a pronoun, that harm is unnecessary.
What is necessary harm?
Harm that mitigates other harm. For example,
Who determines
self-defense.
that? You? Is that just up
Me,
to you?
yeah.
This isn't like a gotcha, just you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and you think I should subscribe to your moral worldview? Why?
I think my moral worldview is one that keeps yourself and other people safe. That's why I have my preferences. I think people should be safe. I think it's
if
beneficial to me and other people to be safe.
I think if one's actions don't cause harm in any provable way, it's probably good to go, morally speaking.
Well, it has been proven that misgendering people causes them psychological harm. I'm not just pulling that out of my ass.
Well, that's all subjective, though. Sure wouldn't cause me no harm if you call
Psychological harm is measurable.
it's a case by case basis. It wouldn't hurt me, might hurt you, probably wouldn't. You're a dude. Are you upset?
No, but I'm non-binary, so actually you just affirmed my gender.
Okay, you're a piece of Canadian bacon. It doesn't matter. Is my point. Who cares? Are you offended? Which one would offend you? and I'll call you that, and we'll
Not
see.
much.
But it wouldn't. Who care? It's not up to me to care what upsets other people. I don't care.
Okay, do you just walk around the street and punch people in the face?
No, because that actively harms them physically.
Okay, so you're fine with psychologically harming people, but not physically?
To me, calling somebody the wrong gender doesn't really psychologically harm them.
Well, to
Unless
me,
they're
that's
all
not
babies.
really a response. That doesn't saying to me doesn't matter when you can measure the psychological harm that comes about misgendering people.
Sure, it matters when your whole moral viewpoint is a case by case basis when it may harm someone and it may not. That's all
But
dependent on
why
the
do you
person.
care about physical harm and not psychological harm? Is what I'm asking you.
Because I can actively know what physically harms each person. No person isn't physically harmed by getting punched in the face.
Okay, so then why don't you go
You can
around
write
raping
laws for
people?
that. Huh?
Why don't you go around raping people then?
I mean, no people enjoy grape. It hurts, doesn't it? I would assume. I've never been graped, but one would
I
presume it
mean,
hurts.
sometimes it hurts, but most of the harm sometimes is psychological.
And physical because you have to kind of like restrain them.
Not necessarily. Grape is a very gray area, but a lot of the harm is psychological.
I mean, the reason I don't
You know,
go
that's why children can't consent, right? It's for psychological reasons.
right.
Okay.
Yes, you can measure
That
the
harm is measurable.
premarital, not premarital, statutory. Jesus, statutory grape does on a person, but I cannot know whether or not me calling somebody anything is going to upset them or not. I can't just look at a person and know what
If
to
it's
call them.
likely to harm them, then yeah, I'm not saying you have to look at a person and know what to call them, but if you're
What's
having a
likely to
conversation
harm
with a
someone?
if you're talking to a trans person, they out themselves as trans and they tell you because you're going to be around them often, these are my pronouns, please call me by these pronouns. And you're just like, nah, and you just continue to misgender this person whenever you're around them and they have
Well, that's
no
just
choice but to
picking
be
on
around
someone.
you.
Yeah, that's just called bullying someone.
No shit!
What this whole argument is to say that picking on people like at your job is wrong? Why don't they go tell their
People don't think misgendering people is picking on them.
It depends on the way you do it. If you
What
just
the fuck do you mean by that?
well, what do you mean by misgendering? If someone listen, and I say this in the nicest way possible. If they don't look like a girl, just my brain isn't going to do that naturally when speaking
That's
to
fine. If you do it on accident, no one should crucify you. But if someone tells you their pronouns and you continue to call them something that they don't claim to be, then fuck you.
But that's what everyone there's no way for that person to tell whether you're doing it purposefully or it's just an accident. That's why it creates a stupid rule.
It's quite easy to tell actually.
How's that?
It's quite easy to tell.
How's
Well,
it
number
easy to
one,
tell?
if someone's doing it accidentally, you can usually tell in the way that someone is saying it, like their tone. For example, when my grandmother, when I told her that I was non-binary, she kept calling me woman because she was used to like using woman in a joking way. But when she said it, she was just like chuckling along with it. It wasn't like she was trying to do it on purpose. Versus on here, someone will say, "Oh, you're non-binary." Woman, as if that's some kind of like gotcha. Like you can usually tell if someone's doing it on purpose.
Sure, but I'm just letting you know now, if you and I work together, I would never call you. Do you go by male pronouns? Is that what you want?
I go by all pronouns.
You go by anything? Okay, well, I would only refer to you as female pronouns, and it wouldn't be an anger thing, but no amount of you telling me or you asking me would just change that you are a girl to me. So who would, like, I'm not
Okay.
going to do it. I'm
So
not going
if
to take
someone
the
gets a
time.
name change, if someone gets a name change and you just keep calling them by their old name, would that not be rude?
No,
No,
no.
not at all.
Is there a reason they got their name changed, or do they just want to be called Todd instead of Thomas? Like, no, I don't think so. It depends on the context, but no.
Really?
Yeah, for real.
Okay. So
Being
then
consistent.
let me give you this. Okay, then let me give you this example then. Let's
Go
say
ahead.
this person changed their name because they feel more connected to this one. That's it. They just feel more connected to it. They've changed the name on all their legal documents, and despite all of that effort, you still call them their old name. You keep doing it, you're not putting forth any effort to change it. It would make them more comfortable if you did, and it's actually kind of pissing them off that you're not, but you're still not putting forth the effort. Is that fucked up or no?
Have they came to me and told me they would really appreciate
Yes.
it? Yeah, it's fucked up to actively ignore someone's wishes in a workplace environment or something like that.
Okay, so in the workplace environment, if someone told you that their pronouns are not she or that they're not he or that they're some other pronoun, and then you don't put forth any effort to try and call them by that pronoun, and they've told you that they desire to be called that, then that's rude.
But why is your viewpoint on this better than anyone else's?
I think my viewpoint is better because, again, I think causing unnecessary harm is immoral. Now, if your worldview is something else, then we could discuss that if you'd like, but
Well, but
that's what my morals are
worldview is
hinged
just as
on.
valid as the other, though.
That is not true at all.
Sure it is. If there's, I mean, I'm
If your
assuming.
worldview doesn't hold up to philosophical scrutiny, then no, your worldview is not valid.
Give an example of a worldview that doesn't.
Sure. The worldview that all things that are quote unquote natural are inherently good.
How does that not hold up?
Great.
What does good mean in this context?
In this case, good would mean morally permissible. Good under my worldview would mean causing harm, causing unnecessary harm. Good under their worldview would just mean is natural. We would try and see which one holds up to scrutiny by asking each other questions. Basically, which one is the most logically consistent.
Which one is the most logically consistent? How
Well,
do you come
you'd
to
have
that
to debate to
conclusion?
find
What
that out.
question? Sure, let's do it.
Okay, let's
I'll
say,
take
for example,
nature
like,
one just for fun.
my fucking god. Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay. So right now, your worldview is that everything that is natural is good,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you think that, let's see, do you think cancer is good?
Yes.
Why?
I think it is neither good nor bad. It is simply nature and part of life.
Oh, same.
Yeah. I mean, it's good because it lowers the population. Let's just say that. Humans destroy the earth, less humans is good.
Why is less humans good?
Humans destroy the earth.
Okay, so you're of the opinion that the existence of humanity is immoral.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so if
No,
you
I'm
think
not
that,
of the opinion. Wait a sec. No, I'm of the opinion that humans destroy the earth.
okay, so then you think the destruction of the earth is bad.
I think it's bad for the earth.
Right, so you think the destruction of the earth is bad.
Objectively, no.
Yeah, no shit, we're talking, I thought we were acting!
Yeah, it's bad for the earth. Yes, I think the destruction of the earth is bad. Yeah, sure.
Okay, why is the earth being destroyed bad?
Because nature survives on the earth. And
Why is the survival of nature important?
it is more important than the survival of humans because there are less humans than there are other animals and pieces of nature, like plants.
Okay, so you think that plants should exist and no other species on the planet should?
No. I think in terms of harm reduction, the most harmful thing to the planet is humanity. And we are
Okay,
trying
so
to
then your
reduce
worldview is also hinged upon harm.
harm reduction to the planet, yeah.
To the planet specifically. Okay, so then you should get rid of every single thing on the planet that causes harm to the planet. But if that were the case, then entire food chains would collapse.
No, because they don't cause inherent harm to the planet like humanity does.
Okay, so then describe inherent harm. You mean just things that aren't natural? Things that wouldn't have happened naturally?
No, I mean like pollution and such isn't inherently caused by any species that is not humanity, as it's a byproduct of our intelligence.
Okay, so you think that if something is natural and it causes harm, it's fine. But if something is man-made and it doesn't
What
cause,
causes
and it
harm
causes
then?
harm, then it's bad.
What causes harm that is natural?
Earthquakes,
They cause harm to
Cancer.
what?
Plants and animals alike?
Why is that bad for animals or plants to die?
Well, you asked how it causes harm.
To the earth. It doesn't.
Yeah,
It doesn't.
it
It causes harm
does.
to dogs and cats and birds. And
Well, then how do you define harm?
harm is the physical action of hurting something.
Okay, so earthquakes hurt animals and plants.
That's not the earth. Who cares? Why is that bad?
That's not the. So then, what do you mean by the Earth? Rocks? Like just the rock?
planet itself. The
The
ecosystem.
planet itself. The ecosystem is animals and plants.
Why is it bad for them to die?
Well, you said that you care about the Earth being harmed.
Humans are animals and plants. Earthquakes
Yeah.
certainly harm the earth less than a bunch of animals do.
No, that's not. I said earthquakes cause a lot of harm
Do what?
to the plants and the animals. We're not talking about humans right now.
It hardly causes harm to plants, and animals cause
That's
more
not
harm
true
to
at
other
all.
animals than earthquakes do.
That
Getting rid of those animals still just causes less harm overall because they don't eat as much anymore. They don't kill as much.
well, no,
I say
that
kill?
would disrupt ecosystems.
It may.
If a whole population is suddenly just taken away from a certain ecosystem, then it fucks with the carrying capacity of the ecosystem.
But all things will recover in due time if there's no interference. A different species will just
The
take
interference is the fucking earthquake, bestie.
but a different species will just take over and there will be no net gain or loss on anything.
According to what?
According to the fact that none of this matters to the longevity of the earth continuing to exist. A different species will simply fill the niche if one isn't obliterated.
That's not true.
It usually is.
Do you have a source for that?
Do you have a source that it's not?
That if a species dies out, then a whole other species will just take its place and that the ecosystem won't collapse?
Why is it a problem with
Like opposing to...
specifically?
You
are we
just
talking
said
about
you
animals
care
specifically?
about the earth not being harmed.
The earth is a planet.
What is on the planet?
Bunch of stuff.
Like the animals and the plants?
Right.
So you care about the animals and the plants, don't you?
I care about the continuation of nature. I thought that was my assignment.
The animals and the plants. The animals and the plants are nature.
If an earthquake happens, will nature cease?
Depends on how big the earthquake is.
What do you mean? No, it doesn't. Nature will still exist. Earthquakes are part of nature. Humans causing
Yeah.
smog is not. I'm talking about the continuation of nature. I'm supposed to care about nature.
Yes, sometimes nature can cause parts of nature to stop existing.
That's still just nature. I still want that. Net gain. Nature, nature, nature. Good, good, good.
Okay. So if nature destroys nature, is that good?
Sure.
Why?
That's why cancer is good.
So cancer isn't amoral. Cancer is good.
I mean, it's not bad or good. It's it's nature. Nature is nature.
You just
No single part of nature is better than another. Should I say earthquakes are better than animals? No, they're still just parts of nature.
right now you're mixing your actual worldview with the nature worldview. I don't think cancer is good or bad, but you're supposed to think that nature is always good, which means you would think cancer is good.
Well, I mean, yes, okay, sure, yeah.
You're a terrible actor. Get off my life.
Oh, come on now.
Goodbye.
I'm trying my best.
No. Your best is not good enough. Fuck off. Come back with a better argument. My God.
Hello.
Hello. Hi. How
Oh,
old are you?
hi. Hello.
Hi. How old are you?
I'm 18.
What year were you born?
2005.
What month?
January.
Lovely. Do you think? Ooh, I Actually, does that check out? I don't know if that checks out. Chat,
Yes.
I don't know if that does that check out, chat. I don't know if that checks out. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. No, you said January 2005, right? You should be 19. Crazy work. The confidence is admirable, honestly. I'll give you that. I will give you the confidence. Also, Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal are in my bio. I've been called slurs, and I've been told that I'm dumb because I'm black. Give me money.
Why are you
Hello?
give me money? That's me. Anyways,
Hi. How old are you?
uh, ni-
Oh, well, bye. To the person who asked, since my worldview is something that causes unnecessary harm, nature does not have a conscious mind to decide whether or not it's going to do something, meaning it cannot act by a moral code. So cancer cannot be a moral or immoral agent. It just exists. In the same way that grass blowing in the wind just exists, tsunamis just exist, and being straight or lesbian are just facts of life. They are not moral or immoral. They just exist. I don't fuck with cancer though. Like, I don't like cancer. I just don't think it's immoral. Oh, that person did not join. Moving on to the next guest. Of course, Faith. Mwah. Hello?
Hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. How old are you?
33.
Okay. Do you think trans men are men?
I think trans
Thank
men
you for the
are
$20,
trans.
Marissa. I'm
I
sorry?
think trans men. I think trans men are trans men. I don't think it's useful to remove the prefix.
Okay.
I mean, a man is an adult human male, which trans men are not. So I think the prefix exists. It's valid for it to exist because it
I
offers
never
a
said that we should
delineation
get rid of
between.
the. I never said we should get rid of the prefix. And also, it's not a
Well, I
prefix;
mean,
it's an adjective. But regardless, I'm not saying we should get rid of it.
well, then why doesn't it say trans men are trans men?
Well, no shit, trans men are trans men. I'm saying some people
Right,
say
and
that trans men are not men. I'm saying actually no, they are. They're just
well,
specifically trans men.
a man is an adult human male. Are trans men adult
What
human
makes
males?
someone a male?
Performing the reproductive role of a male, having small
Such as.
gametes, having small gametes, producing spermatoza, having a phallus,
Okay.
those kind of things.
So if someone does not have those characteristics, they are not a man.
Not a biological man, no. They're
Okay,
not a
so
male.
intersex people cannot be men.
I think intersex is its own category, right?
Intersex is a sexual category, not a gender category. We're talking about gender right
I
now.
know it's a tertiary category to biological sex. You have males, you have females, and you have intersex people.
Right, exactly. So can intersex people not be men or women?
I don't think so. I think the category exists to define people who don't cleanly fit within the binary of male or female.
Well, yeah, but male, female, intersex, and man and woman. Two of those categories are gender, and the other three are sex. They're not the same thing.
Right. I understand that sex and gender aren't the same thing.
Right. So can an intersex person not also be a man or a woman?
Well, if we're defining a man as an adult human male, then I guess no.
Okay, so intersex people are barred from gender, basically.
I'm not talking about gender.
We are talking about gender.
But see, this is the weird thing that I'm not understanding. If we're defining a man as an adult human male, a male is biological. It's not gender.
You're doing that.
I'm doing that, and that's what the general consensus of a man is, an adult human male, right?
Well, I don't know what you mean by general consensus. If I were to look up right now, are gender and sex different? And can males identify as females or the other way around? I would get sources from some of the most reputable organizations in the country that would say, yeah.
That's a pretty pointed search. If you were to look up the definition of what a man is, it would say an adult human male.
According to Oxford?
According to virtually any dictionary you look it up on.
Okay. So right now we're talking about gender definitions and sex definitions, although definitions are inherently subjective. If we're talking about what makes a man, I think what we should use is what holds the most utility. And if we're going to say that a man is just an adult human male, then we're just barring certain parts of the population from gender. So if there's an intersex person and they're a man, they identify as a man, and they tell you, like, I'm a man, but then you find out that actually they have different sex characteristics, would you just be like, no, actually, you're not? Cry about it.
See, here's the thing. I have no problem referring to trans men as he or him. I have no problem with referring to trans women as she or her. I have no problem doing these kinds of things. I'm okay with making space for people in that kind of way. But I think it's being incredibly dishonest because right here it implies that we're confusing gender with biology, because you're saying trans men are men. But if we go look up what a man is an adult human male. A trans man is not an adult human male. So we are really confusing gender with biological sex here.
I'm saying that definition does not hold as much utility as another definition. I feel like that definition being exclusionary doesn't hold as much utility as an inclusionary definition.
But that's a ridiculous argument, because trans men make up less than 1% of the population. We're supposed to arbitrarily redefine the word man to include 1% of the population, and you're telling me that's utility? That's not utility. To basically arbitrarily redefine
trans men are
a
still
word that
people, are they not? But I'm not just talking about trans people. I'm also talking about intersex people, because as you mentioned in your definition,
intersex people
we
are
exclude intersex people
1.7%
from
of the
gender.
Population. Intersex people
That's a
are
lot of people.
1.7%. One compared to what? This is relative. What are we doing?
So do you think millions of people are not important?
No, what you're saying is billions of people are not important. We're arbitrarily redefining a word that encapsulates 99% of the population.
Okay.
You just made the argument of utility. Defining a man as an adult human male is done with perfect utility when it encapsulates 99% of the population that would be defined as male, and the people who don't fit in it would make up less than 1 or 2% of the population. So you just argue utility. This is not utility.
That would be utility, considering there'd still be hundreds of millions of people we're just ignoring.
Hundreds of millions of people. 1.7% of the population is hundreds of
billions of people. Let's find out. Just for you. What percent of the world is trans? Okay, 1%. What percent of the world is intersex? 3%. What is 3% of 8 billion?
That's like 200.
Let's see.
What is that?
1, 2. That's 240 million, bestie.
Right, and that's assuming that there's no interlap between intersex and trans, right?
Sure.
Right. So 240 million people compared to 8 billion.
Just fuck them. You know that there are entire countries that size, right?
Right, but what you're saying is that we should ignore the other 97%.
They're not being ignored. They're being included. That's the point. Your definition is exclusionary.
Right,
Not mine.
And it's exclusionary. And we were talking about utility. They're being excluded and that exclusion is utilitarian. It's fair. Like if we're
then what do we
encapsulating,
do with the other people? They just don't get gender?
there already exists classifications for them: trans men, trans women, intersex. We don't need to arbitrarily redefine man to include them.
Intersex is not a gender. Do intersex people just not get gender?
Okay. So, if intersex is not a gender, right, and man is a gender, then that's arbitrarily redefining the word man, because man is an adult
Why is that
human
arbitrary?
male. Because it's being used to include a small minority of people who you could argue are just simply aberrant from the norm. There's
240 million people.
out of 8 billion. That's 3%.
Are we just gonna act like the US isn't only like 350 million people?
330.
Is that tiny to you?
No, it's not tiny, but relatively, it's not a majority of the population.
Okay. Do we just... Okay, so then for our definitions then, we should just ignore entire ass populations and just leave them to like fend for themselves. Like, fuck it.
Once again, you're making the argument of utility, right? Why are we arbitrarily redefining a word that excludes in a way that
I'd like one more
excludes the
time
97
to... I would love for you to explain what's arbitrary about this, please.
It's arbitrary because man means an adult human male. It has a specific definition, and we use this with great utility in the real world. And you're basically saying we should dismiss with this utility in favor of another significantly less important utility.
How is that significantly less important?
Because it encapsulates a much smaller percentage of the population.
So you think importance is based off of like majority?
I'm sorry, repeat that.
You think importance is based off of majority?
No, I'm saying that words mean things. We use them to interact with the world around us. We use them to describe things. And a lot of the way that we use language operates off consensus, off universal understandings of things. Most people would define a man as an adult human male, and this is done with perfect utility. And you're telling me that we shouldn't do this?
It is not done with perfect utility.
It is done with perfect utility.
If it excludes 240 million people, that is not perfect utility.
That's a weird, that would qualify as the hasty generalization fallacy, right? Where you're basically ignoring, because you're basically ignoring the majority in favor of a small minority.
I'm not ignoring them. I'm including them in the definition.
Hold on. You keep saying 240 million people like this isn't 3% of the population. Yes, 240 million people like is a large number, but relatively, because this conversation is functionally relatively it is a tiny percent of the human population. And you're basically telling me that we should redefine the word man to include this tiny minority. And we're not even considering that you can cut that 3% in half to 1.5 when we're talking about man versus woman, right? Theoretically, you could just cut that number in half, because we're not about to include what you would define as a woman or a trans woman in what we're also defining as a man, right? So it's not even fair to say 3%. It's really 1.5% or 120 million, correct?
Okay. That's still
Right.
more than some countries. What is your point?
The point is it's relative. It may be more than some countries, but it is still a tiny percentage of the human population.
Okay, so if you're claiming that something has perfect utility, right? Perfect meaning it cannot be improved, that is factually incorrect.
No, it's not, because a man
It
is an
is.
adult
Your
human.
definition is
No, no,
exclusionary and mine is not.
right. Okay. Let me. If I were to say the color blue is exclusionary to the color red, like, is that not done with utility? Like, we're clearly making a distinction between two different things, right? If we define a man as an adult human male, it doesn't make sense to include people who
I
don't.
didn't say that your definition doesn't hold any utility. You said it holds perfect utility.
It
That's what you
does
said.
because it describes a specific thing, and people who don't fit in this specific definition can be described as something else. And this is
Well,
done with
yeah,
utility,
duh.
perfect utility,
That's what
because
trans
the
and
whole
cis are for. Obviously.
right,
But
which is
they're
my
both
point,
men.
which is my point. Why would you exclude the prefix, or my bad, the adjective, when describing a trans man? Why would you just describe them as a man when we know that there is a meaningful delineation between these two groups?
If I see a dude on the street, am I just gonna call them a trans man based off assumption? Or if I see someone and I think they're a
No,
man, I'm
because
gonna call them a man.
that would be statistically ridiculous. Like, how often
Okay.
are you gonna?
So then I would just call them a man. I'm not. You're acting like my argument is we
Right,
should
right,
get rid
right.
of the word trans. I never said that was my
No,
argument.
no. Well, then why would you put it trans men or men? They're not men. They're
Because
trans
trans is an
men.
adjective. Adjectives describe
It,
nouns. The noun is man.
Right. And you're not, it doesn't make sense to remove that adjective. And it is, in fact, a prefix. It is being used to describe a specific group of people that are different from the norm, right?
Cis is used to describe the majority. It's just an adjective.
Cis exists because trans exist. Before the term trans existed, there was no such thing as cis. Cis came about to identify this delineation, because we all recognize that
Well,
it
I
is
mean, in
a
this context,
fundamentally
sure, but
important.
in this context, but cis as like a word has existed for centuries. It
Okay,
just means
sure,
on the other side of. I
right,
mean,
but
trans
in
means
the
on the other
context
side of, and
in the
cis means on the
context of
same side of.
right, it didn't exist to describe what we're describing now for centuries.
Okay.
Okay, that's my whole point. Like, these prefixes, which is what they are, you can describe them as adjectives, which they also are, because these two things are not mutually exclusive. Trans is a prefix used to denote a difference.
Okay.
Trans men are not adult human males, so it doesn't make sense
I
to
never
describe
said
them
that
as
they
a
were.
right. So it doesn't make sense to describe them as a man. We can't remove the
If
prefix. That's the only point I'm
your
trying to make.
definition excludes people from gender, you think that holds more utility than than an inclusive definition?
But that's the thing. We're confusing gender and biological sex here.
We're not. I am
We
separating them
are.
on
What is
purpose.
a man is an adult human male. In order to denote a trans man, someone who is not an adult human male, we use the prefix or the adjective trans because we recognize this is an important delineation. That is the point.
I am saying your definition is bad. We've
Why is it
already been
bad?
over this.
Why is it
Because
bad?
it excludes people from gender.
With
If a
perfect
man is
utility.
if a man is specifically a male, then no intersex person can be a man.
Right.
Okay, great. So when an intersex person says they're a man, just no, they're just saying something that is factually incorrect.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm not
Okay, so the same
like
thing with intersex people for being a woman. An intersex person cannot be a woman. So when an intersex person claims to be
they're
a woman,
intersex.
they're wrong.
They're intersex.
Intersex is a sex category.
Right. Male, female,
An intersex
intersex.
person
Right.
can
So
be
an
both
intersex person,
intersex and a woman.
but they can't because male and female
You're kidding.
describe something. No,
You're
I'm not kidding. Male and female describe something fundamentally important. They describe reproductive roles. This is fundamentally important, and we're not about to sit here and dismiss with that importance to be quote unquote inclusive.
Who said I was dismissing importance?
Oh my God.
Yeah, once again, you're acting like my argument is let's get rid of the adjective trans. If that was my argument, then sure, bestie, you'd be eating me the fuck up. But that's not my argument.
Okay, then why does it make sense to refer to trans men as just men instead of referring to them as trans men?
The point is not saying that we should once again get rid of trans, right? A trans man is still a man in the same way a ball that is blue, if you take away the word blue, it's still a ball. You're just not describing it further as anything. It's the same shit. It's still a
It's not.
fucking ball, you're just not calling it blue.
That I feel like that's a terrible analogy because
How?
a because a man, the word man describes a point of development in a male. It describes someone who is someone who is male and an adult human male. That is what the word man describes. Trans men are not adult human males, and therefore it makes sense to use the prefix trans and not remove it. And what your statement says is trans men are men. They are not men. They are trans men. There is a difference.
They are trans men and all. No, absolutely, there's a difference. Duh.
Okay, so
But if
trans men are
is an adjective,
are trans men males.
if trans is an no,
Okay, so they're not men. A man is an adult
under your
human male.
definition, your
This is the
definition
general consensus
excludes
of
a
the
whole
word
population
man.
of people. General
The general
consensus from
consensus
who?
of what a man is an adult human male. It describes a point of development in males. This
So you're
is
saying that the
important.
definition is good if what's it called? If like we haven't changed it? Is that what you're saying?
What? No,
You're
I'm
saying a
saying that the
definition is good if it's been the definition for a long time. If it served its purpose for a
no,
long time, then there's no
that's
point in
not what I'm
updating the
saying.
definition. Okay, so then
That's
what are you
not what I'm
saying?
saying. I'm saying that the word man describes a point of development in human males, right? Are trans
Okay.
men males? No, they're
No.
not. Therefore, they cannot be men because the word
Yes,
man
but your
describes a point in
definition
development in
excludes
males.
intersex people from gender.
We're not talking about intersex people. We're talking about
We're
trans
talking
people.
about the word man. If you're saying that your definition of man specifically has to be male, then we're talking about males too, which means we're talking about sex, which includes intersex people. So intersex people do not get gender.
Right. So they
just
just
fuck
wouldn't
them.
be. They just
Just no
wouldn't be a
gender.
man. They wouldn't. They just
Okay, so
wouldn't be
when
a
an
man.
intersex person claims to be a man, they are saying something factually incorrect. Is
Correct.
what you're
They are
saying.
saying something factually incorrect because male and female intersex, they all describe the way people interact with the reproductive system. They describe reproductive roles. This is fundamentally important to describing humanity or any living organism for that matter, and to arbitrarily redefine it in
Well,
order to
that's not
be
even
inclusive
necessarily
of
true,
a.
but it's not arbitrary.
It is arbitrary because
Arbitrary
man,
means
like I
random.
said,
There's nothing random about this.
no, arbitrary means undefined, or not necessarily undefined, but unordered, I guess you could say, disordered. There, like, there's no point in
There
removing
is a
the
point.
prefix. What's the point?
Number one, you keep saying removing the prefix. I'm fine with the prefix being there. I'm saying the point
Then
is
why
in
are you
some
so
context because people say trans men are women.
trans men are female?
Yes, they're not the same
Right.
thing.
I understand that. I understand the difference between biological sex and gender. Okay. But the word man, just like the word woman, describes a point of development in humans. A man is an adult human male. That is the definition that is being used to describe a man. And you're basically saying we should do away with that definition to be inclusive of 1.5% of the population at the cost of the other 98.5%. That's ridiculous.
That's not ridiculous.
Why not?
A definition that's more inclusive does more. Number one, it makes life a lot less psychologically damaging for the people that are trans men. Two, it includes intersex people and gender, which is also not psychologically damaging. And since intersex is a sex category and not a gender, then just telling intersex people actually, no, you're wrong. You're not a man or a woman. You're nothing. But you have some cool chromosomes though, tee hee, ha ha, hoo hoo. Like,
But
what purpose does
man,
that serve?
man is not a gender. It describes a point of development in
Man
males.
is a gender. Man is a
No, it's
gender.
not. It is not. It
Okay.
describes a. So, what's the definition of a man?
The definition I use is someone who understands themselves
No,
to
no,
be
no,
a
no,
part of the
not the
gender
one that you
category
use. What is
associated.
the general consensus of the definition of a man?
You mean
Not
the
your
Oxford definition?
Yeah, sure. The Oxford
Like what?
definition,
Okay.
Merriam-Webster, whatever. Because I mean, like, I just don't get why we should change words to be inclusive of a minority of the population when those words mean things and exclude that population for a reason.
Okay. Oxford says an adult male human being, which I already knew. I'm saying that definition does not work because if we separate sex and gender, making man mean both male and also having to do with gender is confusing. The World
How is
Health
it confusing?
Organization itself claims man to be a gender category, not a sex category.
I'm like, I feel like I'm talking in circles because like we just acknowledged the definition of a man is an adult
We
human
acknowledged
male.
that like 4 times. I already said that.
Okay,
Okay, I said that already.
okay,
I'm
and you're
saying I
saying that
disagree with that
this.
definition.
Yes, and you're saying that you disagree with this definition because it's not inclusive of a population that amounts to 1.5% of all human beings. You're ignoring the utility of the
Why?
word.
Utility means usefulness. If my
Right.
definition makes it so it includes people, which takes away psychological damage from a certain population, but we can just use adjectives to denote which particular man we're talking about. And you're just saying, no, actually, I don't care. This definition good. Just fuck the people, right?
You're basically saying fuck the 98.5%
I'm
in
not.
favor of the one.
I'm
You
including
are.
them in the definition. You're not.
Okay,
Cis men
like
are
we
still
just
called men. What cis man is
like we
not being
just
called a
said,
man?
like we just said, a utility means usefulness, right? We describe men as men to denote a point of development in males. That is done with perfect utility. Trans
It's
men do
not
not
perfect
fit with this
utility.
definite. It is
It is
perfect
not perfect.
utility.
It is not perfect utility.
It literally is because it is
Perfect
describing.
means cannot be
Yes,
improved.
perfect. It cannot be improved. What point is there in including trans men in the definition of an adult human male and a man? There
That
is no
inclusion
utility there.
raises the
That is why
quality of
we
life.
that
Yes, there is. Changing the definition changes the quality of life for a demographic of people. It raises their quality
at
of
the
life.
cost of a much larger demographic, a much
What the fuck
much
is gonna
larger
happen to the
demographic.
other demographic? Are they gonna cry?
So when we start having conversations about, say, the patriarchy or men commit rape or men do this, men do that, like, are we gonna include trans men in
Just say
this?
male.
Oh my God. So you're implying that 3-year-old boys commit rape.
That, I mean, they can.
A 3-year-old boy can commit a rape? Come on. Be serious.
Statutorily, yes. On like an
Oh
infant,
my God.
yes.
What
do you mean, oh my God?
3-year-old boys do
Yes?
not commit rape. They don't.
What are you talking about?
Give me an example of a toddler, a boy who committed rape.
Do you know what
My
grape
bad.
means?
Yes, I do know what it means, and I don't think that 3-year-olds are
Okay,
capable of it.
so why?
But you see how messy it gets, how quickly it gets.
That's not
very,
messy.
very messy.
I
It
very
is
easily
messy
answered
because
that question. There was no
now you're trying to
messiness.
argue. Now you're trying to argue that 3-year-old boys are out here committing rapes. That's ridiculous.
You said, is it possible? I said yes.
I don't think it's possible. I don't think 3-year-old boys are out here committing rapes. I don't think there's a single case of this ever happening.
You said, is it possible? I said yes.
Okay.
But you know what? Let's see. Have toddlers essayed? Sure. Let's find out. Gasp. There's even a name for it. COXA. Child on child sexual abuse.
And this includes 3-year-old boys.
Yes, they're children.
Okay.
What kind of question even is that?
We've gotten way off topic. The
You
point
brought
is,
this shit up.
yes,
You brought this shit up.
in response to your ridiculous argument. Like you said, I said that if we're going to refer to trans men as just men, then they should be included in all the definitions of man, including the ones where we're blaming men, and you said in response, oh, we should just refer to them as males, which means you understand there is an important delineation there, and yet you won't.
When did I
concede
say
that?
there isn't an important delineation?
Right.
Again, once again, one more time. One more time. I am not arguing to get rid of trans.
Okay,
Why
so
are we
why
acting
does
like
it
that's my
say
argument?
trans men are men? You're literally removing the prefix. You say trans men are men. You
I'm
didn't say
saying we can
trans men
call
are
trans men
men.
also. I'm saying we can also call trans men men because trans is just an
So
adjective
remove
to
the
describe
prefix.
the noun man.
So remove the
If you
prefix,
wanna,
right?
I'm saying if you wanna call a trans man a man, you should be able to. But the
So
point of this
remove
is
the
not to
prefix. So
say,
you just said you're not
sure,
arguing that we should remove the
sure.
prefix.
Not that we
you
should,
agree
that we can. Not that we should. God damn. Now you're
I
pissing me
can
off.
I don't care. I can kill people. That doesn't mean I should. Like can and should are two different things.
That's literally the fucking point. You ran head first into the point.
No, you ran head first into the point. We
Point.
cannot remove trans
You
from
ran
trans
head
men
first into the
in
point.
describing trans men.
We
It
very
doesn't
well
make
can.
any sense.
We very
No,
well
we
can.
can't. It doesn't make any
If there's a
sense.
trans man who literally looks like a man, sounds like a man, acts like a man, and you'd have no way of knowing they're a trans man, you're gonna call them a man until you find out they have a fucking vagina.
I'm gonna call them a man until I find out otherwise, but that does not
So
make
that's a
them
man.
That does not
That's
make
a
them a
man.
man. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not
When you
saying
look
all those
up-
characteristics make them a man.
When you look up in the sky and you see the sun, what color is it? It's yellow, right?
Blue.
Is the sun yellow? The sun is
Oh, I
not
thought you said
yellow.
the sky.
No, I said when you
The
look
sun
up
is
into
not
the sky
yellow.
and
No.
you see. No, exactly. So what we perceive and what actually is are two different things. It's crazy. You gonna kick me because you don't agree with what I'm saying?
What are you talking about?
What's the timer for?
My hands are over here.
No, what's the timer? There was a timer on my thing.
My mods probably don't like you.
Oh well, that's a personal problem.
Okay.
Like I'm still not getting it. You just admitted that you're not arguing that we should remove trans from men to describe trans men. But then you also argue that we can remove the prefix to describe trans men.
And then you just said
this
that
is
should and
contradictory.
can are different words. Ate that up.
Right. Are you
Should
conceding
is an
that
ought
point?
statement.
So are you conceding that point?
Conceding what point?
That we shouldn't remove the prefix trans from men to describe trans men.
Permanently? No.
Okay, so there's no point in arguing that trans men are men. Trans men are not
Yes,
men.
there
They are
is.
trans. Trans men are not men. They are trans men.
They are both.
So you're not conceding.
If you take away the word man,
think we should
what do you
remove
get?
you think we should?
If you remove the
think
word man from trans man, what do you get?
trans.
Should we just call trans men a trans?
No, we should call them trans men, which is exactly
Okay,
my
so
point.
then you can admit that trans is the descriptor and man is the noun.
Right, and we're
Like
using
I said,
this
you have a blue ball. The ball is still a ball. It's just also blue.
We're using this adjective.
The fuck? Thank you for the heart me. Hello?
Oh shit! I guess the mods muted me. That's petty.
I get why.
You get why. You just don't like what I'm saying. And you have
I
yet
just
to
find
present.
this to be very annoying.
Right, because I'm challenging your worldview in an effective way.
No, because I'm tired and I've been awake for a very long time. I promise this isn't about you.
Okay. Well, doesn't change the fact that you cannot remove trans from men in describing trans men, and it means something.
You very well can.
So
Also, apparently,
so you agree
Cambridge's
we can remove the
definition-
prefix. So you're saying
Permanently,
that
no. In a conversation,
Oh my
yes, you can talk about a trans man and call him a man, yes. But I'm saying that we should not permanently remove trans as a descriptor. I've said that over and over and over and over and over again.
Okay. I think this is just semantics at this point.
That the whole conversation is semantics. That's the entire conversation.
Not really, because there is an objective basis on how we describe what a man is.
There's objective basis in where we get definitions, but definitions are still subjective. The conversation is what does and does not make something a man. The whole conversation is semantics.
Right. And what makes a man is being male. An
Well,
adult
not
human
according to
male
Cambridge,
specifically.
but not according to Cambridge, but pop off, I guess, King. Which just
So
further
you-
proves my point.
What do you mean not according to Cambridge?
Do you want me to read the definition for you?
Yeah, what does Cambridge
Hey,
say?
thank you for the $10 Venmo, Ethan.
Oh,
That means I'm
yeah.
gonna kick you, which is
Well,
lovely.
that's fine.
But before you go, oh, Caro said he doesn't care. Actually, Caro said he doesn't care. But also, let's read the Cambridge definition out loud. An adult who lives and identifies as male, though they may have been said to have a different sex at birth. Per. And then they define male as belonging to or relating to men or boys. Intriguing. I'm saying, Apollo. I'm saying. What are we looking at? There we go. Huzzah! We all shout in unison. It sounds so peaceful in here. You're right. It sounds so peaceful. Also, to the person who said definitions are different to prevent plagiarism, that's dumb as fuck, because Webster's definition is an adult male human, and Oxford's definition is an adult human male. So that was like the dumbest shit you could have possibly said, actually. There's someone in here who said that shit. That was the dumbest shit you could have possibly said in response to that. Like seriously? Like dead ass? Like actually? I do my own hair, yes, miss. It takes me very, very long. Oh, this person did not join. Moving on to the next guest. Hi, Caro.
Hey, what's going on?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing extremely well.
I'm glad. How old are you?
36.
Okay.
How old are
Do you
you?
think trans men are men? I'm 20. I just have to ask for TikTok purposes.
Well, I think women
Oh,
are
also,
men.
you're a little muffled.
Okay, Key. Is
Is
that better?
your hand like
Is this better?
kind of?
How about now? Is that better? Is this better?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. All right. So this is what I think. I think that women are men, and I think that men are men. So I think all humanity is men. However, the qualifier is not the sex; it is the brain. So I think that you have women who have male brains, and then you have men who have women brains. So based
Can I have
on,
a source for this? Por favor.
sure, I gotta look it up, but it's there. I mean, um, but yeah, this is all factual information. I'm not making any of this up. So the
Well,
sex isn't
I would like to believe that, but I would like to see the proof, please.
okay. Hold on. Oh man, let's see. I feel like we communicate very well. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right.
Mars is letting people know that a source is required. Oh, speaking of, if you're a subscriber here, I made a new emote and it just says source question mark with sparkles around it and it's rainbow.
Okay.
So if you want to use that, you can.
Okay, so the source is a scientific report and it's published on nature.com. The title of the article, it is called Brain Structure Changes Association with Sexual Orientation. The biological sex differences in the brain function and structure are reliably associated with the several cortical, subcortical brain regions. So basically what this means is there is such thing as a female brain and such thing as a male brain. So you have women who have male brains and you have men who have female brains.
And you say this to say...
So this whole idea of trans men or trans women, technically all humans are technically all male, technically speaking. And the ability to procreate...
How so?
Because of the brain.
So you're... Okay, so what makes someone male?
It's the male brain. It's the structure of the brain and how the brain itself functions in the
So you're saying every human has a male brain?
No. Every human is biologically male. However, what determines the sexuality of the human is the way the brain is developed.
Intriguing. Could you give me the name of the article again? I can't find it.
It's called Brain Structure Changes Associated with Sexual Orientation, and it's published on nature.com.
Associated with sexual orientation. Okay. Can you tell me where I would look to see that we are apparently all biologically male?
Well, the whole idea is that all humans or that all mankind is fundamentally male because we can't really properly define what it really means to be a woman outside of her ability to procreate or to have children. But fundamentally, other than that, we all are mankind. That's why it's like
Wait,
female or woman.
This study is talking about sexual preferences. It's not talking about
It's
whether
talking about
one...
the brain structure changes associated with orientation.
Well, yeah, but orientation is in reference to GAY people, not trans people.
Well, it would be, now you're getting more into, not just into brain morphology, but now you're going into actual psychology.
Okay.
So it's separate, these are multiple conversations or questions within the same scope of things.
Well, yeah, I know, but right now, if we're talking about trans people, where in this paper is going to tell me that everyone is
I'm not
basically
sure.
male?
We would have to see what the neuroscientists say as it relates to that. Because I'm sure there has to be an isolated case study. Hold on. Yep, it is. So it's with the National Institute of Health. It's called the Neuroanatomy of the Transgender Identity, Mega Analytic Findings from Enigma.
Wait, so what is your position on this? Because I can't tell. It just kind of seems like you're giving me information, which I love to be given information.
So my position is that all of this relates more so with brain morphology than it does actual sexuality. It's all based on how the brain is developed and how a person sees their self internally and externally, which is the psychology. However, their psychology is literally based on how their brain is wired to think. So they can't, a person can't really help who they are if their brain is telling them who they are.
No, yeah, but Bestie, you're eating down. Like, I agree with that. And again, thank you for the sources. But I thought you were an op. Are you not an op? Which, I mean, I'm glad that you're not. This is pleasant. I'm just confused. Oh. What? Why did you say that? You could have mentioned. That could have you could have that.
Well, you know, hey.
You know what? I remember you now. This makes sense. You watch my lives religiously, and I was bamboozled. I was tiddlywinked just now. That's crazy fucking work. You know what? I respect the hustle. I do. I respect the hustle. You're still canceled though. Thank you for imparting this information upon me. I will definitely be reading this after the live, even though I've been tricked in front of like 400 people. But you know what? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Thank you for coming up and bamboozling me. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, Alan. God damn it. The fuck? So the person who asked, Alan's recap is simply just the reason why people are trans is based off of both psychological and neurological reasons. And also for sexual orientation, that's also based off of psychological and neurological reasons, and that neither being trans nor being GAY is a choice. He's saying that they're not things that you can help. The names of the sources are... Hold on. Brain structure changes associated with sexual orientation. Again, brain structure changes associated with sexual orientation. The other one is the neuroanatomy of transgender identity. The neuroanatomy of transgender identity. Those be the sources. Those be the sources. Can you wait? Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
So
How
you
old
think
are
trans men are men?
How old are you?
I'm 23.
Okay. Do you think trans men are men?
Trans men are men. You know, how do you define a man?
Someone who understands themselves to be a part of the gender category associated with males.
Okay, I agree with you. So I think a man, you know, I'm Christian, right? But I think a man is just someone who takes responsibility about himself, his childs, his wife, and all those things. You know, I think it's really important.
Okay.
So I don't really associate a gender with a sex.
Okay.
So I really agree with you. Trans men are men. If they are responsible, if they can provide for their wife, if they can provide for their kids, then it's a man.
Okay. Per? Wait, but what if he's not married? What if he's lonely and sad?
If he's lonely and sad, then he can find God. You know.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
God.
Well, I'm
Well,
drunk.
damn.
You know.
Fair
I'm fucking
enough, I
drunk. I'm
guess.
fucking drunk. I'm from the Netherlands. You know. I'm fucking drunk.
Okay, fair enough. Lonely and sad. Find God.
Yeah, find God. You know, just find God, and maybe you will find out what a man is.
That's a roast. That's a fucking roast.
I
The
wish
next
you
time
good
a man
night. I
says
wish you-
he's lonely, I'm just gonna be like,
just find
God.
God. Yeah, and you know, God is the right thing. You know, I
Sure.
define God as the right thing.
And that is a-okay. Well, thank you for coming up. I hope you enjoy the rest of your
Ciao.
your drunken cheers. Bye bye.
Yeah, ciao, bye. Ciao.
You know what, guys? You know what? I think I'm gonna end it here. I think that's a good place to end it off. That was nice. I feel warm and fuzzy. Okay, you know what? Fine, Frank. Fine. Hello? Hi. How old are you?
5 years old.
Okay. Do you think trans men are men?
No.
Why is that? Oh, wait, before you say that, to the person who asked, yes, I will announce when I'm going live tomorrow. The reason why I didn't today is because I wasn't going to go live today, but I missed you guys, so I decided that I was going to do an impromptu live. All right, apologies for interrupting. Please continue.
Oh, because I define adult human male to be a man. So if you
Okay,
don't fit
what denotes
into
a
that,
male?
the sex that can produce. You said what denotes a male or what denotes a man? Say that again,
Male.
please. Male.
No worries.
Male is someone who produces, someone who has the, I guess you can say, phenotypical characteristics to produce a small gamete. So if you do have the phenotypical characteristics to produce small gamete, then you're a male under my worldview.
Okay, so if someone can't do that, then they're not a male.
There's not a single male in the world who can do that. All males.
That's not true.
It's absolutely true.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
It's not.
Can you
Matter of fact,
provide me
yes, I
with
can.
one male who does not have the phenotypical
Yes,
structures?
I can. Hold on. This would be any man who has either azoospermia or congenital anarchia. Which there are names for it because people have been diagnosed with this.
I haven't, and that's
If
an
you want me to
intersex
like
condition.
pull up a specific.
And that's an intersex condition.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One moment. I just got to log into my laptop. I haven't heard. You said it's an intersex condition. I haven't heard of that. Can you tell us more about it?
Sure. They both have to do with fertility, and both of them are very capable of completely preventing you from being able to produce small gametes.
Well, yeah, my criteria wasn't producing small gamete. I think you must have misheard me or something. I said having the phenotypical structures for
So like
sperm
having
production.
a cock?
That's one of them, but that's not the only one.
Okay, so then what parts of the structure have to be there?
Well,
Do they gotta have balls too?
it's not a necessary condition to have balls, but it is a sufficient one.
Okay, so this person has to have either a dick or balls?
No, they just you do realize that they just have to have the genotype for the production of small gametes, and so this
Okay, so if this
includes
person
multiple
is born
things.
without a reproductive system, are they fucked?
How's this? Can you tell me one male who's not born with the phenotypical structures for
Sure.
reproduction?
Sure. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so we have aphalia or ovotesticular syndrome. No PP.
So
They don't have
let me
PP. They don't have structure to deploy sperm.
address ovotesticular
They
syndrome, if I may, quickly. This is
okay.
this doesn't negate what I said earlier. Someone with an ovotesticular disorder is generally born with ovarian tissues and testicular tissues. So we just have to see which one they have more of, or you can say we just want to see if one is functional and the other isn't functional. And so these DSDs, they generally do fall into either male or female. There isn't a DSD characteristic or a DSD disorder that negates this fact. So all intersex
You know, some
conditions.
people are born without a penis, right?
Wait, but
Like just no penis.
so what does that
Like
mean?
just none.
Does that mean they're not male or female?
Well, that's what I'm asking you. But
No,
also,
and
I'm
I'm
not
telling you.
using male to mean. I'm not using male and man as synonyms.
Wait, but I'm telling you that having certain intersex condition does not make you any less of a man or any less of a male or any less of a female. So someone with a Turner syndrome will be a female. I mean, 100% of the time. There's never been a single case of a male being, I don't know what's the word for it, being struck by Turner syndrome, and vice versa. There's never been a female that's been diagnosed with Klinefelter syndrome. So, like, what are you saying here? I don't understand you.
What I'm asking you, what part specifically does a male have to be considered male? And you said a reproductive system. I'm asking you, which parts of the reproductive system are you talking about? Because
But that's
like
not what I
it
said.
gets more or less complicated.
That's
Well, you
not what I
said the
said, though.
ability. You said having the structure that would allow you to produce small gametes. You don't have to necessarily have the ability to, but you have to have that structure. No.
No, I said anyone who has the phenotypical structures associated with the production of small gametes, that person is a male. If
That is what I
I
just
don't,
said.
I don't think you understand that. No, you said that I said that the condition is being able to, I don't know, have a reproductive system. Reproductive system is a component of it, but other aspects also are a component of this, such as having generally high levels of testosterone. Now, I want to preface this: I'm not saying anyone who has abnormally high testosterone is a male. No, I am saying anyone who falls into the general group that's associated with these characteristics. Having
Yeah.
high levels of
When
testosterone is
I
one, having a penis is another, having, I don't know, a XY chromosome is another. So all of these characteristics, we can just look at it and see if you fulfill these boxes. And if you do, we can generally see if you're a male or a female. So I don't know
Well,
what
no,
you're
I
saying here.
after I said reproductive system, I asked you as a clarifying question. You're saying that in order to be considered male, you have to have the structures that would allow you to hypothetically produce small gametes. Not that you have to have the ability
No, it's
to
not about.
produce them,
It's
but
not
the
about being
structure has to be
hypothetical.
present.
You're giving me listen. You're giving me intersection addition, this intersection addition, that intersection addition, and does it negate that people are either male or? Are you here making the claim? I don't know what your claim here is. I don't know what your premise here is.
Well, one, people can
You're saying
be
trans men
neither.
are
I'm
men.
saying,
I told you I
I'm not saying
define
trans
men as
men are
being.
males.
So, I define men as being male. So how do you define it? So I understand your argument.
I'm not a trans man. I define a man as someone who understands themselves to be in the gender category associated with males.
Okay, so with the gender category generally associated with males, what is that gender category generally associated with males?
Typically, typically man.
So you're telling me a
in
man.
quotation marks.
Okay, so you're telling me a man is someone who identifies with or sees themselves to be a part of the gender category of man, and a man is someone who sees themselves to be part of the gender category of man, and a man. You see how we get into a reductio ad absurdum? I mean, it's like a.
Well, no, I'm not using man in the definition.
It's a self-defining.
I am not
definition.
using man in the definition with the word. I am using it as if it's in quotation marks, like a name tag.
Wait, but this was the necessary condition, seeing yourself as part of the gender category of man. That's what a man is. So you're using the subject man to define itself. That's what's called a circular definition. You're not giving us external criteria. I wouldn't be able to finish,
I'm not
please.
using the word. I already know what you're saying. You said it already.
No, I just want to be able to finish, though.
Continue.
That's an issue. So you're using the subject to define itself, and this leads us into a circular definition. You're not giving us any external criteria to judge this definition and see whether it fits this or that category. You're just saying a man is a man. That is the claim you're making. I mean, this is a tautology at the end of the day. Right? It doesn't have any truth value to it because a man will always be a man.
Are you done?
I am done.
Thank you. As I was saying, I am not using man with the definition attached in the definition. I'm using man as in like the way the syllables are put together, like in quotation marks. I forget what this is called philosophically, but I'm saying that a man is someone who puts like the name tag man on them.
Okay. That's, I guess I would say that's a good analogy. So what you're saying is that, like, this person, regardless of what the many definitions of man is, this person, under any definition they use, is a man.
Yes.
So you're applying truth values to all definitions of man, because not every single person has the, I guess you could say, correct definition of man, because all definitions are correct, regardless of what it is. All definitions. Someone says, I am a man, however they may define it, they're a man. So at that point, if you're saying every single definition has truth value to it, then no definition has any truth value to it. They're all true. So that would mean also my definition is true.
I'm saying that you are a man if you understand yourself to be a part of that category. Now, I'm not saying that every single category, I'm not saying every single definition of man can be true, right? But I'm saying that particularly for this definition, the only requirement is that you understand yourself to be a part of the category. If you don't understand yourself to be a part of the category, then you're not a man. But also, what a man is subjective. So.
Oh, so you're saying, it's what a man is relative. Okay, so
Yeah.
I take serious issue with that.
Why?
I take serious issue with that because can you tell me any other definition, a word, any other term that you apply that standard to, that standard of it's true regardless of how every single person defines it to themselves? Woman. Okay, I guess you can say definitions that are not part of the gender category.
Sure.
Because I would say all definitions, ultimately when you look at them, they're tools we use to judge or to like we just have to see which
Long.
definition or this conceptualization of gender, which one has less logical fallacies. Mine has significantly less. You're just defining the word man by itself, and that is a circular definition. It breaks the laws of logic.
I'm
So
not.
please provide a different definition.
I already told you I'm not using the word man to mean the word man in the definition. I'm using it again as a name tag. I'm not.
You are. When I asked you, when you said a man is someone who sees themselves to be part of the gender category.
Let me just try and find the philosophical law. This is so annoying.
You're just saying no.
Jesus Christ.
You're not countering
I'm
any of
not
my
just
points.
saying no. I'm trying to give you the philosophical law.
Because when I asked you what that category is...
Use mentioned distinction. Thank you. Fuck's sake. Oh my god.
I'd like you to break this circle for me.
I'm working on it. Thanks. Okay, so the use mentioned distinction is traditionally understood as the distinction between using an expression or phrase and mentioning it. So, this is how I'm going to try and describe it to you with the best of my ability. My name is Sam. What is a Sam? A person named Sam.
This isn't about a matter of whether definitions are subjective or not. I agree with you, definitions are subjective. I'm telling
That's
you,
not what I'm saying.
They cannot be self-describing. They cannot be
definitional. I'm trying to explain this to you.
You're just telling me definitions are subjective. Okay, good. I agree.
That's not what I'm trying to tell you. That's not what I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to explain how the definition I gave you is not circular. The same way I just said, I am a Sam. What is Sam? A person named Sam. Sam is in quotation marks. It's the same thing with man. What is a man? A person who understands themselves to be in the gender category of quotation mark man. Like a label or a name tag. I'm not using the word with the definition in the definition. I am using literally the visual represented strokes as the definition. Not with the definition attached to it.
Okay, so it's meaningless at that point because Sam, if you look at it, it doesn't have any truth value to it. So you're saying that woman or man, you can't falsify it. Because Sam, you can't say you're not Sam. You can say you don't have official documents with Sam written on them. But you can't say you're not Sam. I can simply say I'm Sam. So the definition, it really has no truth value to it. Okay, sure, but women, I believe, has a
well, I mean, you could try and argue that I'm not a Sam.
I can't.
You very well could. I'm not saying it'd be a fun argument, but you could argue it.
Well, it'd be a terrible argument because, there are certain words which have no meaning or truth value attached to them. I understand that. That's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is that woman, man, these gender terms do have truth value to them. Are you saying they don't?
I'm not saying they don't, no, but I'm saying the definition that you're using right now could be improved. Honestly, I think the Cambridge definition is a good one. For now, anyway.
No, but if you're going to say this is my definition, you have to say then that my definition has no truth value to it. It has no, meaning in terms of if it's information, if the information that Sam is carrying, if it's objective or not. You're saying that that's meaningless because it doesn't have any objective.
No definition is subjective. I mean objective.
I agree with
Is that what you mean by truth? So
no,
then what
I
do you mean by truth value?
that it's not falsifiable.
Okay. So you're saying that your
Well,
definition is not falsifiable.
no, my definition is falsifiable. Yours is not.
Okay.
Because 100% of people in the world can claim to be a woman, but that's not really true,
Okay,
right?
but the criteria is not claim. The criteria is understand. If you do not comprehend yourself to be a man, you are not a man. Just saying the words out loud, I'm a man, is not what makes you a man. If you don't understand
you,
yourself to be a man, you are not a man.
and I'm telling you that the comparison you created between man and Sam is disanalogous here, because Sam has no truth value to it. Woman has some truth value to it.
How does Sam
It's the
not
only
have truth
difference.
value, but the other definition does?
Because you can't get to a true Sam, because anyone can claim to be Sam. You can't get to a quote unquote real or correct Sam, because there is no correct Sam. Anyone can be a Sam in the world. But the term man and woman, people can't just be a man. 100% of the world cannot be a man. 100% of humanity cannot be a man. Some are women. I
Well,
think the
yeah,
divide
but
is.
again,
Hold on. I think the divide is 48.
oh my god.
Or 48-52 or 50-50, something like that in the world. I hope you understand my argument.
Okay.
So is that what you're saying? That
What is it? What are the percentages doing for you?
No, I'm just saying that not everyone can be a woman, because woman has some truth value to it, and you're not engaging with my arguments. You're just saying, "Oh my god."
So when I was trying to continue speaking, you interrupted me to tell me the percentage of man versus woman in the world. Are you serious?
Okay, go ahead. I'll go on mute. Go ahead.
Anyway, like I was trying to say before, to say that they're just claiming it again, because that's what you're saying about me saying that I am a Sam, but that's just a claim. Saying that you are a man is a claim, and saying that you are a Sam is also a claim, yes. But whether or not these statements are true is what we're trying to decide. What does and does not make someone a man, and what does or does not make someone a Sam, those are analogous conversations. That's what I'm trying to say.
You said
I'm
that,
not just saying that what makes you a man is just claiming that you are. The comprehension part is important. If you do not actually understand yourself to be a man, you are not a man. Just saying the words out loud, I am a man, is not what makes you a man. That was never my claim.
What beliefs has to be present for me to quote unquote believe myself to be a man? And again, this
Well,
is
understanding yourself, as far as like your gender actualization happens at like age 2. If you want me to like describe what that's like, I can pull up the source for you. I don't really know how to describe it.
You're just saying that gender, what gender someone is mind dependent. I don't believe that. I believe that gender is mind independent. It is an objective thing that you don't have any choice over, really.
Why is that?
Because a man is
I don't think we have a choice over it either necessarily. I mean, like the reason why you want to have a certain label, I don't think that's the truth.
Well, what's the derivation of it then? How is man derived? Whatever it is. If it isn't about your biological sex, you said it's about your understanding. Understanding of
Yes.
what exactly? Understanding of what?
Well, whatever your understanding of what a man is also entirely subjective. So, like I said, it'd be relative. Whatever you understand a man to be is mind dependent, which would make IDing yourself as a man also mind dependent.
So if I say a man is someone who's strong, that's my subjective understanding of man, you would say that that's correct?
If strength is the only criteria, I think that would definitely be a definition that uses some work, considering other things can also be strong. But I'm not just talking about like gender roles, right? I'm saying that there's like a fundamental comprehension, like psychologically, that you have to have. I'm not saying just arbitrary shit like being strong or being tall or smelling nice or being kind or being compassionate or being dominant or being a leader. Like, that's not what I'm talking about.
You said this fundamental
That does
understanding, and
change culturally, though.
you're saying this fundamental understanding. You keep saying this understanding. Well, what is this understanding? Can you tell us the qualities, properties, and elements of this understanding that one must have? Because I don't know what
Let
it
me
is.
see.
Like, what understanding does a woman have, and
I
what
would have to
understanding does
basically
a man
I would
have?
basically have to describe to you what comprehension is.
I'm not asking for what comprehension is. I think I understand what it is. I'm asking what comprehension exactly must I have? What are the what is this comprehension? Is it the comprehension that a man is someone strong, or is it understanding what a man is to be someone who's smart, or something like that? What is it? What are the elements of this understanding?
From what I've like personally gathered from my own experience as someone with like a kind of odd gender identity, I would say the understanding just comes from your desire to be gendered a certain way. For example, if you're non-binary, it's likely that you don't have a desire to be gendered as a woman or a man. You have a desire to be gendered as either both or neither. So you understand your desires.
Again, that's just begging the question. You really haven't told us anything. You were vague. You said it's understanding yourself. It's being gendered. I mean, I can just keep
Do you want me
asking
to
you, being
explain
gendered
to you
how?
what being
Well,
gendered means?
no. I mean, you're saying a man is someone who likes being gendered as a man. Is it being liked, or is it a man who wants? What is it?
Well, a desire is a want, yes.
I'm not asking for what a desire is. I'll ask the question again
Wanting,
because you're responding to a
you're
question I
asking
didn't
what a
ask.
desire is?
That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking what desires do I have to be a man?
Well, however, people are gendered as men wherever you are. If you want to be gendered that way, then that's what makes you a man. For example, in the US, this is a want to perhaps be called he, him, to want to be viewed as, I guess, like someone with the ability of protecting, like things of that nature. But again, this varies from place to place. So whatever your cultural understanding of what a man is, which again is subjective, then if you understand yourself to want that, that is what makes you a man.
For me, not. I don't have a want or a desire to be called a man or to be called really anything. It's my. It's either I am a man or I'm not a man. It's not about what desires I have. So the desires I have to be gendered a specific way is completely irrelevant to whether the assertion that I am a male or I am a man. I'm sorry, that I am a man or I am a woman is true. It's completely irrelevant. I'm not saying that if I
Right,
desire.
but
Yeah.
again, you're saying assertion as if, again, I'm just saying that you just have to claim it. Is that what you mean?
Yes, that's what you said. You said that having the desire to be gendered a specific way. To me, the desire is irrelevant. That's what I'm
Yes.
telling you. You can, for all I care, you can. I don't have a specific desire to be called a man or not. I am a man, and that's what That's what I am. So if you say that I'm not a man, you're incorrect. So it has truth value to it, and my man is someone who. An adult human male, essentially. That's what a man is for me. Under your
I'm gonna
conceptualization, you're saying
try
being desired to be called a man. To me, that's irrelevant.
not being desired to be called a man. I said
Being
to be
gendered.
gendered as a man. I'm not just saying like being called. I feel like every time I say a word, it just kind of seems like we fundamentally like are not thinking of them the same way.
No,
Like
it's
when
just
I
that.
say gendered, I don't just mean being called a man. Because me, for example, if someone calls me a man or a woman, I don't think that like me not necessarily caring makes me any less of a non-binary person. Right? That's not what I'm saying. Identify as a bear is crazy work. I guess okay, I will admit my fault lies in being able to explain this. It's a lot easier to I guess like feel than to say into words, which is entirely on me.
I don't think that's the case. I think you're explaining it perfectly well. It's just that whatever it is you're explaining is just not logically consistent. For I can give you multiple examples. I can really, spend a few minutes here and give you a significant number of examples. But one example is my main central example of why your definition is faulty, and that is it's a circular definition. It defines itself, and you haven't given us really anything. You said you brought one example, and that was the Sam example. In that example, I told you it is disanalogous here because Sam has truth value. It does not have any truth value to it. Man has truth value to it. So you must be so do you disagree with me that woman does not have truth value to it? Because that's the only, I guess, similarities I can see between the analogy we're trying to make between Sam and man.
Okay, maybe the way I understand what truth value is just wrong. Could you explain to me truth value?
Yes, something that has facts to it, I guess I would say.
That's it?
Yes, it's non-falsifiable. Oh, I'm sorry, it's falsifiable. That's what I meant to say. It's falsifiable. It can be said this is correct and this is not correct.
So objective.
Yes, in a sense. Objective, yes.
Okay.
But not just objective, really. It can also have some subjectivity to it. Right? Like, for example, what is one thing I can give you of truth value? So the time it is right now, Central Time, that has truth value to it. We can't disagree with it. It's not up for a debate. It's, Central Time, the states in the United States that are in Central Time, the time is 11:20. That's true. You can't disagree with it. It has some truth value to it. And it's falsifiable also.
I don't think I'm getting it because it just sounds like this just means objective.
Wait, but it's not just subjective. It's also that you can tell whether it's correct or incorrect. So.
Okay. But if we can tell whether something is incorrect or correct, and there's only one right answer, this would be something that is not mind dependent, right? This would be true whether or not humanity is able to deploy consciousness about it or not.
Sure.
Unless I'm tripping.
What I'm saying is I'm not saying definitions are objective. All I'm saying is that my definition is more useful than your definition. My definition, and when I say useful, I mean.
You mean like it holds more utility?
No, it's. I guess you could say it provides better outcomes, and it is the most consistent definition. It's more consistent than my definition. Sure, I'm sure you can point out some holes in my definition, absolutely, in my conceptualization of gender, but I'm not saying that it is objective. What I'm saying is it has more, or I guess you can say it has less logical fallacies to it, less holes to it.
I'm sorry, I'm looking up truth value. I'm still very confused.
I mean, I'm just saying your definition is not consistent. You've given us an example and an analogy, and that analogy does not work out. It is disanalogous, and I've said this countless times. I don't know how you're not understanding it. It is disanalogous because my definition is falsifiable. Your definition is not.
Okay, so you're saying that the claim that someone is a Sam cannot be true or false?
No.
That's not what you're saying?
No, that's exactly what I'm saying. I agree that someone being a Sam or not Sam it's not someone being a Sam is not true or false, but someone being a woman is true or false. The statement "this person," you could really put any name in there. You could say this person is either a man or a woman, and those two statements would be either true or incorrect. Yours, however, the Sam
Okay.
definition, it wouldn't be correct or incorrect.
Okay. Hmm. I'm trying to think of an analogy that would hold up truth value then.
Well,
I just think I have I don't know if I understand truth value enough to make an analogy about this.
what about falsifiable? Like being the statements being correct or incorrect. This statement is correct. That statement is not correct.
Okay.
Like do definitions need to have external criteria to say they're true or not true, or that to say that that they're correct or not correct, or to say I think they do. Some do. Some definitions are absolutely objective, and man and woman are one of those objective definitions.
Okay.
I don't know.
And you're saying that you're saying that like a definition has to have truth value in order for it to be useful?
Absolutely, yes.
Why is that?
Like when we're comparing one definition that's based on some conceptualization of truth or some system of truth, and one that doesn't have any system of truth, especially a definition like woman, which is I mean, it is really important the way we define woman or man, because it has material effects on the world. So we have to be, we have to be as careful in determining who's a man, or what, what defines a man what defines someone to be a man, what defines someone to be a woman. I think we should be based more off of objectivity, and it is based off of objectivity. A man simply describes a male who has maturated. That's it. You're telling me no. A man is someone who sees themselves as the category of man. And when I ask you, what is that category? Because that's what we're trying to define. You say a man. So at this point, I don't know what a man is. You just said a man is a man. Essentially, that's what you said. Because you're defining whatever you define as a man to be itself, man.
Okay, I think the problem here for me, I'm gonna say this is fully on my lack of comprehension. I dead ass do not understand the definitions and truth value, and that is fully my fault. For that reason, if you want to have this conversation again after I understand what the fuck that means, perfect. But now I know that I have a hole in my understanding of philosophy. So cool. Until then, thank you for coming up and teaching me a new thing.
But do you concede on that point? Or no?
Sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye bye. All right, I have work to do. Fuck. All right. Well, I think that was officially my first L. Crying tears. Crying tears. But thank you all for being here. Thank you for being so generous and kind in the comments as per usual. Thank you to my lovely, lovely mods. No, Lainey, honestly, I think I have work to do. I have work to do. Is he not right? Like I don't like the idea that definitions have to have truth value or that definitions need to be falsifiable is what I'm not having I'm not able to understand that. Like I don't understand why that needs to be the case. So I guess I have to figure that shit out. It's brain rot. I'm gonna ask Ian about this. I think I'm gonna ask them about this. Crosses are not just for Christians. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Lavender. It's like definitions have to be objective and subjective at the same time. Ian is one of the smartest people I know in relation to philosophy, so I'm just gonna ask them. Because I genuinely don't understand. Alright, well. Alright, y'all. I'm gonna go to sleep. And also I'm gonna text. I know definitions evolve over time. Oh, thank you. Good night, everyone. I know definitions evolve over time. But it's just I don't see what's wrong with my definition because I'm not using it in a way that would be circular. Because I'm using it in a way that has man in quotation marks. Like you have to strip the definition of the word. And I feel like the name tag way was a good way, but not if definitions have to have truth value. So I'm just gonna ask Ian about this because I think they'd be able to explain it really well to me. But okay, good night, everyone. Thank you all for being here. I love you all. Mwah. And I will see you all tomorrow. Bye bye.
What, bro?